Finals, TJ, a KDA of 22.
Oh my god.
That's just how much this team plays around. Now, to be fair, other players, Hawk also sitting at 28 on the KDA.
No, that's worse because they're on the same team.
And then J-Jack at 25. So this is a very powerful team as we go ahead, get into our pick and bans. Korea on your blue side to start things off, and the teamy ban to start things out.
Korea are going to look to play very aggressive. That's, of course, what they always do, constantly invading, picking up small jungle camps, and Thailand don't always handle aggression well. You see specifically 007 in that jungle role can get caught off, separated. And if that starts happening, I think Thailand are just going to fold.
Yeah, we saw that a couple times when the enemy team would push into 007's jungle. He would often be kind of slowed down. He didn't really know where to go. And other times he just got straight out caught out. So actually, luckily for him, the Grak's getting banned out here on the side of Korea.
Yeah, the Grak getting removed, Korea uninterested in playing it, and I think I'm on board with it, because you're playing against Moss.
Yeah, Moss, stellar performance, so maybe you don't want that to slip through the pick and ban. You'd rather be safe. Thailand, though, taking a page out of what we saw in Game 5 of our last series. No Omen coming out.
I expect these bans to be super standard because both these teams play non-standard compositions.
Now, this is a little bit ugly here for Thailand, though, because if they wanted to, they can get rid of the Arum, but you leave up the Lindis. Do you expect Korea to take the Arum if it's left open?
I think they'll be up for either, but the Lindis would be lethal. Because it's Rush!
Yeah, it's Rush on the Lindis.
He's so good at video games. If you give him the Lindis, it would be insane, but they won't.
Yeah, instead opting to ban it out themselves, so looking to try and target the pool of 007, because you know what, Rush, he still has that Slims, he still has that Violet available.
And that's what I was kind of saying. I would be surprised if any of this was spectacular. Both teams just want to play their meta, their own private game, how they want to play in an ideal world, into each other and see who comes out on top.
Well, final ban coming out here for Thailand in Game 1. What do they want to get rid of? What do they not want Korea to have? A Zenial being the final ban.
Okay, Korea, you can play Arum. I'd expect if it comes through on anyone, yeah, locked in, I'd expect it would probably come through onto J-Jack. But to be honest, they have a couple players who can play Arum.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. It could be flexed around different players. That's a big thing about Korea. They oftentimes are just really good at certain heroes. And when it comes to it, they'll actually just swap positions because they know someone will be able to play the hero better in that position. Now for Thailand, coming over to the side, already showing themselves quite a strong front line with the Malik and the Chugnar.
Chugnar has seen a lot of play today, and he's kind of a hard character to quantify how much impact he's having. So much of it is just his own personal CC immunity and how many potentially lethal control abilities he can eat up.
I actually like this from Thailand because if Korea wanted to play the Chugnar, they often do when Rush is on a Violet.
Oh, yes.
It's usually the safety net for Rush when he's on these hyper carries into the late game. So now Korea, they got to think about, all right, what do we want to try and pick up here to try and protect Rush? Because they like to play around him. They like to make sure he doesn't get isolated during the team fights.
How do you keep Rush safe? A team that is so good, by the way, at protecting Rush. I love how Korea play during these fights to protect their carry, but they need to do so now with an off normal pick pulling in the Arum. I don't want to say off meta because she's very meta, but you don't normally
We haven't
see
seen
her
it.
because she is so meta.
Yeah, because she keeps getting banned left and right. Usually
Yes.
it's a red side ban. Usually you're forced to do the Superman, the Arum, and then sometimes the
Super
Omen.
ban.
Sorry, the Super ban. Either way, also the Irie going to get locked in.
Another character we've seen a lot more of, and not just on the stage, because she's so powerful at diving in, gaining ground, picking up the kills at the very back of the fight, but also, if you want somebody to stand in the front line and make everyone stand still for a moment, because she's got infinite shields and a stun, quite good at that as well.
Good to start off the fights, Thailand now. What do they want to try and pick up here? They still have the option. They want to try and maybe pick up their mage here first. They do have the Crixie available if they want to go with something along those lines. Still maybe the remix here, though, on the Lubu.
I would like the Lubu. But what they're leaving open, like you were talking about, is this mage. Now, we've said specifically, I don't think there's too much upside to banning out mages these days because there are so many viable mages. But maybe you want to say, stop that from happening.
Yeah, you see the Scud being hovered here, and then also the Tulin being available. Hawk would be pretty happy on a Tulin. And they still have a pretty deep pool, too. Like you mentioned with Korea, they have the Natalia available if they want to go for that as well. Even the Crixie if they want to try and pull that, too.
Memarks, of course, can play a lot of things. I'd expect him to run the Crixie, just given this pool. But this is a major draft win for both teams. I think they've mostly gotten everything they want. A ton of CC available for Thailand, a ton of aggressive characters available for Korea.
And for me, TJ, you're seeing this here in the draft. They're taking a very long time with these picks. They're deciding what they want to pick. This is your first game in the winner's final. You win here, TJ, you automatically secure yourself at least $100,000. That's $20,000 per player. If it got split evenly, you know, you give it a little bit to the coaches and everything, but still.
Crucially,
yeah,
a spot in the grand final and a shot at the first ever title of Arena of Valor World Champion.
And then you're looking at $200,000. Now for Thailand here, the Preta.
Okay.
I know you had
like
opinions.
Preta.
You had opinions during the quarterfinals last week.
Yes, I like Preta, but I feel like Preta's place in this meta has kind of just become worse Crixie. Because what Preta always offered that was so good was the ability to really nail in damage on anyone who's gotten isolated. You can always land major damage plague specters, particularly towards the late game. Crixie does that role better now.
I see there, Thailand. They're confident, TJ. They're already giving each other fist bumps as they lock in their final pick for Game 1 against Korea. This is probably likely going to be their toughest opponent. This one, they say don't underestimate us. They were the top seed coming in, but you got to remember, Korea at the boot camp.
Only team that's underestimating them is Korea.
I'm about to say, Korea is the team that finished second in the group stage, lost out during the semis during the boot camp. They have a pretty good track record when it comes to the game so far, only dropping the one game during groups. Now you're coming in here. Coaches are going to go ahead and shake hands. We're going to hopefully get in onto Game 1 here quite shortly.
Thailand have said every single one of those versus matchups, they've said, don't underestimate us. Most of the time, nobody's in danger of underestimating them, because like you say, they are the top seed coming in. But Korea, I think, are underestimating them, because Korea, like we were talking about, we're already thinking through to a final versus China, which is now no longer possible.
No, now they, maybe that preparation. And from what I remember here, TJ, during scrims over the last week, you know, Korea and Thailand, they have kind of kept themselves pretty spread apart. These guys actually haven't scrimmed each other too often. Oftentimes, you know, Korea is going against Chinese Taipei, even China at times. These guys don't like to show their strategies against one another to see how well it's going to pan out. Either way, though, we're going to go ahead, load on in for Game 1 between Korea and Thailand, fighting for their slot into the grand final. Let's go ahead and get into the game.
I cannot believe that we've gotten here. Thailand facing off and already charging down this mid lane.
I like this, though. This is something we've seen before, usually coming in from the boot camp. But now I find that Korea likes to take a little more standard approach. They like to try and spread out. But now, instead, opting to go for the invade onto the top side of the map.
Look, though, there is an answer. Thailand are already shifting over to pressure that bot lane.
And you see Remix trying to come on over. He's actually forced to flicker away. So trying to go for the response there onto the buff gets shut down, so he's got to be a little bit careful here for the next minute. Won't have that cooldown available, but a successful invade from Rush.
I like the fact that Thailand, in addition to just counter-invading as is standard, they're also taking a moment to make sure that that Scud Chaser is thoroughly blocked out behind tower during this time.
You can see J-Jack there on the RM, 100% pick and ban, only a 50% win rate, but now coming in toward the mid lane, wants to try and cut off Thailand. They were looking to position themselves onto Hawk, but fortunately for them, this is the thing when it comes to the Preta that I find is it's very telegraphed, the damage coming on through. You have time to react to this massive AoE if you want to try and get out of the way.
The thing, like I said, it's just kind of in a situation where it's worse Crixie, because Crixie can do it faster and more damage. This is their opportunity to demonstrate that.
Jerry comes in onto the front line. J-Jack's going to go ahead for the flash. You have Hawk over toward the side, getting damage onto Thailand. No one will fall, but I like Thailand. They're trying to get aggressive. They're trying to answer Korea right away.
Trying to poke, trying to prod, and that's what you need to do, Thailand. If you're ever falling behind, forced back into your jungle, that's where they're going to flat out lose the game. Do not let the Koreans take the driver's seat.
Well, look at this, Chaser. I wanted to say, he's actually had a star performance so far today. We saw Chaser in the last series was an absolute monster. Looking toward Thailand, they wanted to maybe pressure Chaser, but now look to try and get Rush into the jungle, but they are spread apart. They don't want to fully commit to a fight, TJ.
Korea, of course, leveraging this Arum. We talked it up a little bit in the draft. A very, very powerful character. We saw the stat on their pick ban. There's a reason for that. Arum is insane.
Oh, see, Sun going for the steal here is not actually going to be able to secure it as Remix came on over and took it away.
Did you see that spear throw, Opal? That was so close to finding the kill, and it was like preternatural, I don't know, awareness that allowed him to escape.
But meanwhile, Abyssal Dragon has started up. Rush is going to secure it. There's going to be Cherry jumping on in onto 3 members, but look at that health bar. Gets the heal. Chaser goes down low, and first blood goes to Thailand. Make it 2 kills. And Korea, they're looking to maybe have to be careful. Marks just runs him over. 3 kills to Thailand for the price of the Abyssal.
And a double kill already to the Freighter. I want to see more of that. That was exactly what I was wondering. Can the Freighter have the mobility, the aggression that Thailand needs to offer? And well, hitting like a freight train, I think that's your answer.
And that's going to be a 1,500 gold lead to start things off here for Thailand. And I like this. They challenged Korea at the Abyssal Dragon. We were wondering, would Thailand falter if the jungle pressure was there from Korea? So far, they've been able to answer it.
And that's been really nice to see. Thailand staying in the game, staying aggressive, and keeping doing this.
Well, you see, J-Jack is able to help secure the kill for Hawk as they pick it up. The shot comes on down, and Hawk is going to be clipped out of the air. That's going to be a trade, a 1-for-1. You see Thailand, they're able to collapse when Korea goes into the jungle.
Hello, Thailand. Welcome to the game. Welcome to the AWC. We were wondering, are Korea going to get out ahead? Power through is a very aggressive team, and Thailand already have an answer. They're playing much more aggressive, yes, but they're also playing aggressive as a group, because the intention is when Korea are sending those solo 2-man invades, they have 3-4 players ready to go to punish them.
And this is a little bit interesting. This kind of been a switch from Korea's play style.
Yes.
Because usually they like to go for towers. But we haven't really seen that much split lane pressure coming down toward the side of the map. And Thailand is able to just get into the jungle and be uncontested. You see the Preta damage. If they're able to find it, Chaser gets taken down pretty fast. Hawk is able to survive. J-Jack over toward the side. You see Sun in the middle of everybody. Gets the stun. And Korea answer back with 2 kills of their own.
Beautifully played from Sun. A double kill to him, but across the map, Remix is chipping away.
Yeah, you see that Lubu's able to just shred down the tower, and that's going to be Thailand's 2nd tower of the game. They still sit 2,200 gold ahead of Korea at 5 minutes.
And I'm just in awe of the fact that they've already got this Praetor doing so much damage. You can see he's building Phoenix Tier on flashing boots. Phoenix Tier will probably build into Orb of the Magi. I'd be astonished if it was anything else. I've seen some people sell it weirdly. But they're trying to do a very, very standard Praetor build, but they're just already chunking with it. And I love that because it means it's all on the positioning.
And on top of that, now Thailand were able to secure the bot lane pressure by getting that tower. They were able to walk in, get the Abyssal Dragon. Korea were nowhere near it.
Yeah. And Korea are typically very aggressive team around the towers. That's going to be what they're looking for more so than the major objectives. They're behind in towers.
That's unheard of. We've never seen Korea have a start like this.
This is an unusually rough start for Korea, and it might be about to get worse as there's more pressure in the jungle. Thailand's the team that's playing aggressive and taking the battle towards the buffs.
Question though becomes, can Korea stall this out and let Rush take the late game fights? You still see the pressure coming up from the top side of Thailand. Sun is just looking to clear out the wave. He's got to be careful though, can't go too aggressive. You saw already taking a decent chunk of damage if he goes aggressive.
Sun on the I-Ring though is so good at diving in and securing those major objectives, picking up buffs, picking up minion waves. That's what the character is exceptionally good at. In addition to diving into those fights, is little bits of poke. And that's how Korea stay in the game with poke like that.
Gets caught out once again, and Moss will pick up the kill. Remix now has come from the top side of the map. Chaser though with the disengagement. Rush gets caught out by the flying spear. He'll get taken on down. Another 2 kills for Thailand.
And here's the push. This might be the tower.
Sun has to be careful, wants to jump on in, has the shield, has the ultimate, but you still see the damage. The tower slowly falling. Thailand are able to find, again, another 2 picks. For me, TJ, this is starting to become a trend, is J-Jack invading onto the stage golem, keeps getting caught out.
Yeah, and that time, it wasn't even that the initial invade got punished, it was that Thailand were there to force a team fight that was objectively bad for Korea. And I love that awareness, because it speaks of research and awareness of what Korea is going to do in these games.
And unfortunately for the Aram, we just haven't really seen it be utilized just yet. Just trying to apply pressure toward the jungle, but then he gets collapsed on, and that's great map awareness coming out from Thailand. And once again, now they control the bot side of the map. Go for the Abyssal Dragon. Korea wants to try and answer back, but see the amount of pushback from Thailand. Moss's ultimate chaser gets caught out. Abyssal's halfway into the river. Sure, Sun, you can now join in onto the fight. If they keep chasing, this could be brutal, because Sun around the corner comes on in with the ultimate, lands the stun, has the shields, and now Korea can turn this around at the Might Golem. Cherry, though, is still pretty tanky. He'll be able to escape.
Cherry oftentimes plays the tankier of characters. Knowing that he can escape from these fights is how Thailand stay alive. Korea, though, that has been consistent damage from the Fennec. I am loving that spear throw. Slims, by the way.
Slims, I was about to say. I'm going to correct you. Sun, though, he's going to need a correction because he gets caught out.
Beautifully done. Again, a dive deep in from Thailand, knowing where there's going to be over-aggression. It wasn't even so much over-aggression, just they know where Sun is going to be pressing forward.
Shock comes on down. This is Thailand saying, this tower is ours, Korea. Unfortunately, though, the minion did fall, so they can't secure it on this push. But you see, Korea, they are trying their hardest not to give up this mid lane tower, because if they lose this, they lose all the map control around the objectives.
And let's talk a bit about minion clear, because I've been really liking B-Marks. I was questioning the Praetor quite a bit, but we've seen those Plague Spectres consistently used for very long-range wave clear. And he's getting a lot of it. They haven't had to fight many of these minion waves against tower because of that consistent play from B-Marks.
So second Abyssal, going to go in favor of Thailand. So they're now up almost 5,000 gold at the 9-minute mark, TJ. This is not a spot I'd ever think of seeing Korea in, but now they have to go against Thailand. There is a reason this team comes in at the #1 seed into the World Cup, and they're starting to show it here during the knockout stage.
I really do like to see this new side from Thailand. They're going for this tower.
The tower is going to fall. The minions are able to survive. You still see Rush. He was trying to clear that out. Spear throw not being connected. Moss gets taken down pretty low. Cherry just using the ultimate for the zone, but still, they're not able to pick up the kill.
And the spear throw landed, just for fun. I'm loving this Thailand team. It's so coordinated, and they're going to take it.
Wow.
The pressure they've secured to go for this Dark Slayer. Look at how careful Thailand are playing.
Because they notice where Rush is on the map. He's in the bot lane. He has shown himself, and that's going to be an easy Dark Slayer for Thailand.
As a result, Korea now need to play on the back foot for a while yet. Of course, Sun doesn't know the meaning of that, so he's going to press forward, try and secure some jungle control.
Well, there's a reason he's got himself so much gold per minute here during playoffs, but unfortunately, he's not going to be able to do much if he keeps getting caught out. Remix now applying pressure toward the top side of the map for Korea. They're just trying to stall out this Dark Slayer. You do not want to lose a high ground tower in this scenario. Just try secure your base, build up your wall, and play safe. Sun is still at that Sage Golem.
I thought he recalled, but he just waited out and got the Sage Golem once Cherry left. Well, little bits of gold do matter at this point, because you're looking no longer at winning the game now, but later.
Yeah, Sun cosplaying himself as the sneaky ninja girl. As I see Matt just walking in front of us. He reminded me. I'm sorry, TJ.
Remix will have the bot lane pressure. This can be the first high ground under threat.
Yeah, Remix still applying pressure. Chaser. I wanted to highlight Chaser, but unfortunately so far sitting 0-3 on the Scud. Was able to put on quite the performance in the first series that Korea has played. You have Hawk bringing down the Moonfall, but that's just used to zone away the team of Thailand. The tower still stands, but you still see the trap is being readied by Thailand.
I have yet to see anything from this Aramon Korea. J-Jack needs to get more. He needs to do more with these snares, with these uncaged.
Because the issue is now is Thailand have pushed so far up, they don't even need to go through the jungle. They don't need to go through these choke points that the Aram and the Crixie are going to excel at. Meanwhile, 007 is taking the third Abyssal Dragon for Thailand. It feels like Korea just don't know how to answer.
No, they're trying here with Hawk, but there's the shock. Again, great zone from Cherry.
Yeah, J-Jack gets chunked out there, has to be a little bit careful. Sun's over toward the side, but he can't be isolated like that. But look at this, Thailand has actually kind of split up. That might be an opportunity for Korea to pull the trigger if they do it again. But unfortunately, that tower is just going to get taken down. The gold lead has now surged to 8,000.
you're looking at the 15-minute mark. You want to just hold on, clear the wave. Maybe at the 15-minute mark, you can start to work your way back in.
Thailand, though, the time is ticking, and they know it. The shot comes on down. The tower's going to fall, and Korea still have to back off, but still, all the high ground towers remain.
All of the high grounds remain for Korea, and that small victory has to be the victory they hold on to. You are not out of the game until you start losing high grounds. That's the fundamental law of Arena of Valor.
Pretty much. Once you lose those, you have pressure you have to deal with just naturally from the push of the super minions. For me, though, we haven't really seen a true team fight, you know, a mid to late game team fight with Korea. And the thing is, Rush has been able to slowly start scaling up on this Violet, has died twice.
Steadily.
The
Rush waits in the shadows, and if he's able to get out ahead and then hover at the back of these team fights, like you say, you start to worry because Thailand don't have a lot of late game damage aside from that Praetor.
See Cherry, though, still pushing in this bot side wave. It looks like the call is going to be a 1-3-1 with the Lubu starting to roam between the lanes. Looks like Cherry wants to go to the mid lane in case a fight were to break out. He could go for the engage, but now you have to deal with all the pressure, TJ.
Watch the Praetor in this upcoming fight. It needs to be dealt with quickly.
You see minions being cleared out on all three fronts from Korea. They're able to hold on to the base. Remix starting to push out a little more. Sun, if he gets a little too aggressive, that could be the point of weakness for Korea during this hold.
It also could be the only way they survive if he can get to this wave in time.
You still see 4 members of Korea rotating, just answering Thailand, trying to stay together, and they're able to prevent the minions from crashing in.
They got big chunk damage onto Memarks, though, which says to me they know where their attention needs to be focused, and hopefully they can follow through.
You see, though, Rush getting taken down extremely low. Moonfall comes on down, but Chaser gets taken down. Shock comes down on the side of Thailand. They're not able to take any of the tower because there's no minions, but still, the pick is there. And this is a weird one. Rush was out of position during the start of that fight, TJ.
Rush so brilliant in position normally, and now all of a sudden struggling here on this stage.
You still see them clearing out the minions, preventing Thailand from advancing forward. This is Korea in turtle mode. This is the first time we've seen Korea at this point in the game. The engage comes on down. Moonfall from the side. Hawk is able to pick up the kill. Sun dragging back Thailand on the side here, but look at that tower, TJ. It's getting taken down extremely low. 007 cannot finish it off.
It will not go down, and this is where having that Slims as opposed to a character like the Violet or Lindis does begin to backfire, but it's not backfiring enough. Rush needs to go huge.
Is able to try and clear out some of these minions. You see, you had Sun, he was looking for a roam, but couldn't find it.
I love the fact that Sun is continuing to do this, because with the Darkslayer coming up, this is where Korea needs to win a fight.
Okay, here's the issue though. If Sun gets caught out in the jungle, this is a free Darkslayer for Thailand. We see Sun, he's snuck up onto 007. The damage though isn't there for Sun. He gets taken down. That should be a Darkslayer play by Thailand, but meanwhile they're going to go instead toward the Abyssal Dragon.
It doesn't matter, they have enough time, they can get both, because Sun is not back for 33 seconds. That's 10 after the Darkslayer, and well, that's dismal for Korea.
Thailand positioning themselves toward victory, now ahead by 10,000 gold. They can wait this out. Just wait for the Darkslayer.
They are guaranteed the victory if they win the Slayer.
He gets taken on down. Rush is going to get taken down too. Thailand's able to find 2 in the base, TJ, and now minions in top lane. They can look for the end.
Beautifully done again by 007. He is looking so good here on stage.
You see Chaser, he's going to try and hold on to this core, but Korea are looking to give up their first game of the knockouts. You have Sun trying to make the hero play, trying to get onto the backside, but it doesn't matter. J-Jack underneath his turrets are getting obliterated left and right. Car will fall. And that's going to be Thailand with game 1.
Now that's an upset.
You see Thailand, they are living. They are excited for that victory in Korea. You can see it there. That is a silent Korea.
That is the most out of it I've ever seen Korea look, both in-game and in person on stage.
You gotta be feeling good here on the side of Thailand. After, you know, a lot of people were saying, they said themselves, don't underestimate us, TJ. But they showed themselves to be quite the form when they came
I underestimated them.
I'll be frank, a lot of people were saying Korea would be the favorites here, but take a look at that score, 6-17. It's a different story.
Yeah, and I'd like to highlight particularly Rush 0-3-3.
Wow.
That is a dismal performance. I'm in awe of how well they managed to shut down Rush, and so much of that was the early jungle pressure. You could see 007 was getting absurdly built in a marksman v marksman matchup. 007 versus Rush, you absolutely favor Rush just off previous results.
You see the early fights here started off great here for Thailand. They were able to keep up the pressure in Korea. Kind of reminded me how Vietnam plays. I didn't really see them try and push out of their base once they started getting pressure applied to them, once those towers started to go down.
Yeah, when Vietnam played poorly during the group stage, it was like that. They started playing so carefully and so passively. And there was a moment there where an Irie left the base.
Yeah, left
where
the base.
Sutton thought he had an opportunity to pick off the marksman, and I will say it was perfect. He had the right spacing, the right timing. If he had won that fight, it would have been great. Unfortunately, 007 was so built that he just demolished the fight.
And this is a Thailand style of game. Look at that game time, 16.5 minutes. On average for game time for Korea, it's 12.5. That is their group and quarterfinal game time average.
But Thailand, in their ideal form, in their peak performance, just want to slow down the game, play it steadily in their favor, and put it in a point where Korea just doesn't feel like they have a way to win that game because it's been so surgically complete.
And that's the thing here. Usually Korea, if they find one mistake, they will isolate it and they will abuse it. Thailand, I didn't see it too often. And I think the big thing for me here was that Aram, TJ. Unfortunately,
it looked weak.
For J-Jack, he just didn't perform well.
That was not what I expected from an Aram, specifically J-Jack's Aram. J-Jack, a player we've frequently talked up as a very, very good player for his team.
No, exactly. So now for J-Jack, you got to kind of bring that in and you say, man, if you're on the side of Thailand too, do you just leave that up in the draft? Because honestly,
They did.
For me, do you just leave it up again and just try and ban out something else?
Please pick it, J-Jack. I think that's a great decision. You should do that. If you're Thailand, that's the bit I was doing.
Yeah, if you're Thailand, you're going to be saying, yeah, take that Aram, because I honestly just didn't see it perform, and it kind of didn't look like, it's been pick or ban 100% of the games, TJ, and honestly, it just didn't show.
So much of what Aram is good at is penetrating deep into a team fight and managing to shut down somebody who's in the backlines, like, say, a Slims or, in this game, a Praiser, because those are low mobility characters who you can isolate, pin down, and have the rest of your team take over. Unfortunately, they never actually did that. We never saw an aggressive Aram. Instead, we repeatedly were in a situation where the Aram wasn't gaining ground, wasn't pressing forward, and indeed, even the Uncaged, the slows that should be so good as a setup for your entire team, never found value.
And on top of that, you mentioned that Violet Rush, 3 deaths there. He got caught out during that mid lane fight, during the push for the high ground tower. That really sparked Thailand to start breaking apart that base, because that's a rare mistake for Rush. We don't see him getting caught out. He has the lowest damage taken per minute across the entire tournament. His positioning is usually flawless. Usually he has a bunch of safety. I think with that arm pick, he didn't have a lot of safety to try and get him out of the trouble.
No, and I think that's maybe something where we look for J-Jack to get back towards the characters he's more comfortable on. We know in particular his crack was terrifying throughout the entire group stage.
On top of that, too, you can go with the tank like the Chugnar. Instead, Thailand were able to go ahead, take that one away, because honestly, most of the time for Korea, they usually start with the roamer in their draft. Most of the time, that's usually the first pick.
Korea normally are so aggressive inside the jungle. In that game, it really felt like it was Thailand who were shutting Korea out of their own jungle. That's why 007 got so powerful. That's why we ended up in a situation where an Ivory couldn't 1v1 a Slims.
All right, TJ, so now let's reset. Now it's game 2. If you're Korea, what is the new game plan?
If you're Korea, go back to what you were doing during the group stage. Make sure that you have the power to pressure into the jungle, keep Rush maybe on the Violet, maybe try and play the drafts that you can get out with a Lindis. Definitely, if you can get the Grak over on J-Jack, find the opportunities to press into the jungle, because that's where Korea looks at their best.
All right. Now for Korea, like you mentioned, play like they have during the group stage. Now, if they do go ahead and get blue side this time around, you know, do you go for what's going to be your new pickup here? What do you want to try and isolate? Because, like we said, the ARM might be left up by Thailand. It didn't do a whole lot from J-Jack. You know, do you want to try and get that pick for
I don't let
Rush?
ARM over to Thailand. If ARM goes over
no,
to
you
Thailand,
can't.
I think that's so much worse because Thailand are so good at playing characters that are control focused. I guarantee you, if they get ARM, it will be a bloodbath because they can use those uncaged for permanent slows, manage to completely set up the team fight. We already saw Chaser. I think it was so cool how he was shut down by the consistent Malik play. The Malik was nuts.
Yeah, because I know during the series between Korea earlier on, we were praising Chaser. I know over in the side, we were watching it, and Chaser, he showed up. We were like, where has he been the entire group stage?
But every time he tried to go for one of those cool flank plays, there was a Malik ultimate to make sure that it was not a good idea to try and do something sneaky.
Yeah, you saw it. The flank plays from Korea just never materialized, unfortunately, and that's kind of what cost them because then Thailand would just say, hey, there's someone literally right behind us. We could just go ahead and get the isolated target, pick them off, and then take the rest of the map, take the objectives, take those towers. And I think that was the big one, too. They got the mid lane tower early. They got the bot lane tower early. That allowed them to get the Abyssal Dragon pressure so early on in the game.
And the second Korea aren't in the fighting for any of the major objectives. They don't get the towers. Normally they balance it out. They say, sure, if you're going for Abyssal Dragon, we'll just pressure the tower. We'll take ground elsewhere on the map. They didn't have enough gold from the early jungling phase that they felt comfortable doing it. We said, Korea rarely make mistakes. I think the major mistake that they made there was actually that initial team fight. The second they'd lost there, they never were able to get back into the game because they never felt like they could take a fight in the jungle. They never felt like they could pressure the side lanes, do any of the things that you look to Korea to do.
And for Korea now, they are sitting on stage. They're sitting one game down in this best of 5. This is a first for us. We've never seen Korea fighting back into a series. Usually they dominate. Usually they go up 2-0. And then we saw it once or twice, you know, they would get a little too comfortable and they would drop a game. Maybe they got a little too comfortable this time around. They got an ARM. Maybe they were feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, Korea is a very, very aggressive team, and that leads to them looking very binary. Either they look like that, and they go down very quickly, or they look very, very aggressive, and they look like the game's easy. So don't be harsh on them, because there's maybe a Korea that's performing just 40%, not quite at par, but that hurts. That looks worse than it should.
Well, for Korea, it looks like they're going to have an opportunity to do so because we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. But when we come back, it's going to be game 2 between Korea and Thailand.
Forgive me, my son, for I will not be there when you awake. When you take your first steps, when you realize your limitless potential, who will you become? A champion? A savior? Destined to carry the weight of worlds. You are the last son of Krypton, forever entwined with the fate of the cosmos. It is a burden only you can shoulder. I can only hope to prepare you for the great challenge you will face of what lies beyond your star.
Flash has traveled through many worlds and through the stream of time with one goal in mind: to find his friends. Finally, he has arrived. Athanor. Justice League to battle.
ファンタジーってやっぱ現実にないもの、想像力だけで描くっていうのが好きな世界をねこうイメージ膨らませてなんかビジュアル化するのですごく自由な気持ちになりますよね。このゲームというのは光と闇とそれからフェアリー妖精と人間で、いろんなこう国の人が戦うっていうそれでこう、ワールドカップみたいなもんですよね。もう本当に光も闇も人間も妖精も一緒になって戦うとそれでその目立つものがそのカップをもらうっていうことですよね。だから西洋風に描こうとはしてるんですけどもどうしても東洋的なものが出るんですね。中間にいるのかもしれないです西洋と東洋の中で。新しい世界観ができればいいなとは思います。ただそんなにつながってるとは思うんですけど今まで僕のやったやつと。なのでそれはすごいどうなるかっていうのは自分でもやってみないと出てこないのでそういう楽しみはありますね。ビッグバンみたいな形でビッグバンというのはどっちかというとその点から広がりますよわーっと。その逆で真ん中に集中してくるみたいなそんなようなイメージで書こうかなと思います。なのでそこの点というかそこに集中するのが多分その大会かもしれないしそこの真ん中にビッグバンの最初が宇宙の始まりみたいなのがそのカップなのかなって気もちょっとするんですけどもそれを目指して世界のプレイヤーが戦うっていうそういう対戦ゲームチームプレーというかそういうのがあると思うんです。一人じゃなくてねそれぞれ役割があるかもしれないしみんなで協力してそれぞれの能力とか役割があると思うんですね。それなんかいろんなことをやるのが勝利につながるというか一人ではできないけど5人ならなんか勝てるみたいなねそういうことをそれぞれコミュニケーションすごい大事ですよね。個人の能力だけじゃなくてそれを生かしてそれぞれが戦うというか一緒にやるチームプレーですよね。もうオリンピックないかもしれないしねこれから楽しみな世界ですよね。よく考えたらe スポーツっていうのも反射神経とかいろんなものを使ってね能力を発揮して競うわけですよね。だからそれはそれでこれからどんどん増えていくのかなとは思いますね。世界各地の選手の皆さん今回のアリーナ・オブ・バローワールドカップ頑張ってください。
back, everybody, to the Arena Valor World Cup Grand Final weekend here at the TCL Chinese Theater. I'm Opal, joined by TJ. TJ, what are you talking about?
It's with me.
I know, I was just pointing. You're the boy. You're the boy wonder himself.
I appreciate that. We are still resolving some tech issues for just a moment.
Yeah, you know.
But while we're here, I'd like to go over the two teams that we do have, because in addition to Korea and Thailand, we also have the entire rest of the bracket, and the winner of this Korea-Thailand match goes on for $100,000 guaranteed, and of course the possible $200,000 grand final prize.
On top of that, the bragging rights of being the World Cup winners here in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's
We
I think
talk a lot
that's
about money,
honestly
but
more
that's
that, you know,
more,
it's the honor,
yes.
it's the respect that you get from winning the title, and of course the money I think is just a bonus for some.
A little over a year ago, there was the Asia International Championship, of course won by the Chinese Taipei region, and for me at least, this is the culmination of that, because it's bigger, it's better, there are actual NA teams and EU teams here who've already competed in their own leagues. This is the first true global competition for AOV, and winning it would be significant for any team.
And we just have these final three teams remaining, because you saw on that bracket, China has been eliminated. It's just Chinese Taipei, Thailand, and now Korea. And, you know, speaking of Thailand and Korea, let's take a little bit of a look overall at the group stage and the knockout here so far today, as we take a look back toward their matchup against Chinese Taipei.
Korea looks so good here. This is why everyone was convinced they were going to power through this match, because they made Chinese Taipei look silly.
Looked like a tutorial game at times there, TJ. These guys knew what they had to execute on, and they just took out Chinese Taipei.
And I loved it because it was just the ultimate Korean playstyle. It's why Korea looks so intimidating, not particularly because they're winning these games by nearly as much as it looks like they are, but because they win these games in 10 minutes. And when you win a game in less than 10 minutes, even if they weren't really out of it, they look out of it.
No, exactly. And also there you saw Chaser getting a triple kill. He showed up here during the knockout stage, because group and quarterfinals, you know, he was kind of a side note for Korea. He wasn't one of the main.
Good.
He was good, but it wasn't one of the main players we often looked at. You look at Rush, you look at J-Jack making the plays, and now coming in here to the semifinals, you saw on the Scud there, was able to just perform beautifully. But then you take a look across the stage over toward Thailand, a little bit of a different story. You know, these guys often say, don't underestimate us. That's a line that just gets into my head, TJ.
Yeah, because they've said it before almost every matchup, even before they polyed teams. And I do really feel like this is the first time I've actually felt like they were the underdogs in a match, and this was the first time they proved me wrong.
Yeah, you saw there, unfortunately for China, this was the match that forced them into their matchup against Chinese Taipei and got taken down. And for Moss, going to be just fine, as it would seem there, as you know, the rest of the team coming on in. They were having some fun.
Yeah, and it looked so good, I think, especially for Moss, seeing him do so much work. We love watching Moss. Moss is just one of my personal heroes, of course, because I'm a Grak man.
I know. I had to deal with it, TJ.
And I love getting to see him in his natural habitat, as it were, playing the characters he does best. That was one of those games. It was exactly the Thailand playstyle that we enjoy seeing.
Yeah. And the Grak plays I know you love, because you're a Grak main, as it were. If you've seen any of TJ's streams, you just see me crying in the background at my win rate slowing going down. Character? You know, a downward trend. I don't have a graph, unfortunately. No. I had one prepared. I actually did.
I think you can draw it pretty easily. Downward slopes are lightning fast.
I'm trying here. Let's see.
Oh,
I got the L right. I almost messed up the graph.
That was an X and a Y axis.
You know,
so fast.
Like, we went like this, and then I went, you know, and just kind of went something like this.
That's an accurate depiction. That didn't show up, but that was an accurate depiction of the win rate. But let's talk a bit about that, because it is how Grak works. When I play him, or maybe when you play him in solo queue, he doesn't seem nearly as powerful as the character actually is here on stage. The reason for that is because he's a product of the control meta. If you play a Grak with a team around you, or even just a teammate that you can coordinate well with, it is lethal. When you end up in a situation where you're pulling people in and maybe people aren't there to instantly follow up, all of a sudden he can't do much on his own. And all of the best supports that we're seeing in meta are a bit like that. They have their power not necessarily from their damage, but from their potential to set up others.
And on top of that, especially Korea, they're a team that works with this combo so well. You saw it with Natalia. That's the main reason that worked so well during the quarterfinal, was that Junjun and the rest of the team, not Junjun, apologies there. Oh my lord, I'm starting to mess up player names here. J-Jack, starts with a J, that's why. J-Jack would often flicker on in, put out the World Devour, usually put in the hook, and take in 2 or 3 members, and then Hawk would just melt them to bits.
That Natalia game versus North America is etched into my mind because there was one play, and if you listen to the replay, I'm speechless during it because he flickers in, World Devours, and then Natalia uses the Lethal Rays ultimate and just burns into 4 or 5 North American players who are sitting there trapped, being microwaved. And when something like that happens, that's when you see the true power of Grak. And it's like that a bit with Alice as well. Alice has the ability with the Hizzy Fit for tremendous zoning. He has the ability as well with the Sunshine for big stuns. But when an Alice doesn't have follow-up, when an Alice doesn't have team play, the character looks relatively weak. And that's perhaps why you haven't seen too much Alice in regular play.
Yeah, you can see the stats there at the bottom of your screen. 83 pick and ban rate coming in today and sitting at a 52%.
Memorized.
Yeah, unfortunately. I know, TJ, you give Memorize so much flame. Unfortunately.
I'm really sorry, Memorize. The EU Grak was, I think, a victim of what we were talking about. It's really easy to blame an EU Grak, and I enjoy playing into the meme, but so much of it is down to the team playing, not just on the receiving end, but also setting up for major plays from a Grak.
I think the secret is you're being mean to Europe right now because you know Rest from NA is literally right behind us, so you can't talk about North America. Yeah, he's literally right behind us, so you can't say anything mean.
Yeah, he could definitely beat me up. I believe that from Rest. We do have, though, plenty more games still to come.
Yeah, guys, we're going to go ahead, throw it to another break, and hopefully when we come back, it's still going to be Game 2 between Korea and Thailand.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to introduce Batman. Batman is an assassin superhero who depends upon his ability to deal explosive levels of damage. Batman is able to weave in and out of battle by himself and break down enemy ranks. Passive skill, Caped Crusader. Batman bends himself to the shadows. He will gain a 20% increased movement speed when he nears an enemy hero. However, this speed boost will disappear should he leave with his back turned to the enemy hero. So Batman is able to rely on this speed boost effect to easily hunt and slay enemy forces as they flee while low on health. Skill 1, Forearm Strike. Batman releases a quick blade that deals damage to nearby enemies, followed by a second attack against a random enemy next to him, dealing the same quantity of damage. This is an area of effect skill, and the second attack preferences striking enemy heroes. His first skill is certain to deal grief in 2 stages to the enemy when he faces only one enemy hero. Skill 2, Batarang. Batman will throw out a Batarang that damages enemies and reduces their movement speed. This is a straight line area of effect skill that, after 3 seconds, will also cause enemies to suffer physical damage equivalent to 24% of the HP they just lost. If enemies who have suffered from Batman's second skill are struck again by Batman within 3 seconds, they will become dizzy and enable Batman to restore some of his HP. Deal a lot of damage after you just release the second skill during battle, and you'll boost the damage you inflict after 3 seconds to its maximum extent. Skill 3, Dark Knight. Batman uses his natural affinity with bats to make himself invisible after 1.5 seconds. This skill will last for 30 seconds, during which time, if it is released again, Batman will appear and launch an attack in your designated direction. This skill has a line-based area of effect. If you are invisible and wait next to the enemy for more than 3 seconds, this will dispel the invisibility at a slightly greater range than for the skill. Of course, Batman will also dispel his invisibility if he inflicts damage on enemies. In any case, enemies further away from Batman will start to notice something is amiss when he is invisible, and an alert will appear over their heads. So you have to grab the opportunity once your third ability makes you invisible. Get close to enemies and then release all your skills on them. Typically, Batman will damage enemies using his second and first skills together. One use of Batman's second skill is sometimes enough to take out an enemy when they are low on health. Should Batman not be doing very well, he can activate his third ability to slip away from the field easily. Batman would normally first use his ultimate to hide himself in the shadow. Then, after getting close to his enemies, strike with his second skill and unleash all his skills in a quick flurry of takedowns. Of course, you can also reserve his ultimate for a second release, and it may get used again as enemies flee. In summary, Batman possesses super rating skills and can easily deal explosive damage for a win. Thanks for watching today's Hero Spotlight of Batman. See you next time.
ファンタジーってやっぱ現実にないもの、想像力だけで描くっていうのが好きな世界をね、こうイメージ膨らませてなんてビジュアル化するので、すごく自由な気持ちになりますよね。このゲームというのは光と闇と、それからフェアリー、妖精と人間で、いろんな国の人が戦うという、それでワールドカップみたいなもんですよね。もう本当に光も闇も人間も妖精も一緒になって戦うと、それでその目立つものがそのカップをもらうということですよね。だから西洋風に描こうとはしてるんですけども、どうしても東洋的なものが出るんですね。中間にいるのかもしれないです。西洋と東洋の中で。新しい世界観ができればいいなとは思います。ただそんなにつながってるとは思うんですけど、今まで僕のやったやつと。なのでそれはすごいどうなるかっていうのは自分でもやってみないと出てこないので、そういう楽しみはありますね。ビッグバンみたいな形でビッグバンというのはどっちかというと点から広がりますよ、わーっと。その逆で真ん中に集中してくるみたいな、そんなようなイメージで書こうかなと思います。なのでそこの点というか、そこに集中するのが多分その大会かもしれないし、そこの真ん中にビッグバンの最初が宇宙の始まりみたいなのがそのカップなのかなって気もちょっとするんですけども、それを目指して世界のプレイヤーが戦うっていう、そういう対戦ゲーム、チームプレーというか、そういうのがあると思うんです。一人じゃなくてね、それぞれの役割があるかもしれないし、みんなで協力してそれぞれの能力というか役割があると思うんですね。それなんかいろんなことをやるのが勝利につながるというか、一人ではできないけど5人なら勝てるみたいなね、そういうことをそれぞれコミュニケーションすごい大事ですよね。個人の能力だけじゃなくて、それを生かしてそれぞれが戦うという、一緒にやるチームプレーですよね。もうオリンピックになるかもしれないしね、これから楽しみな世界ですよね。よう考えたらe スポーツっていうのも反射神経とかいろんなものを使ってね、能力を発揮して競うわけですよね。だからそれはそれで これからどんどん増えていくのかなとは思いますね。世界各地の選手の皆さん、今回のアリーナ・オブ・バローワールドカップ頑張ってください。
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Arena Valor World Cup. It is our Saturday finals here at the TC Outlets of Friday finals. TJ, you distracted me. What do you got there?
It's the NA Hopes and Dreams.
Oh, it's a paper airplane.
It's the NA Hopes and Dreams.
Oh, man. Real question is, does it actually fly?
Much like the NA Hopes and Dreams. It's down there now.
Actually, I think it landed right beside you. But luckily, guys, we have sorted out our issues here, and we're going to be getting into Game 2 quite shortly between Korea and Thailand. And a quick reminder for you guys, Thailand currently in the lead over Korea 1-0 in the series.
Thailand with a surprisingly dominant Game 1. Korea, our favorite, and I think the favorite of many people coming into this set. Coming out of the issues, the question is, have they maintained that momentum? And they certainly look like they have.
You know what? After that long little break there, they still got smiles. They still got energy here at the stage as we're cresting at pretty close, I think, to 11:30 or 12 o'clock now. We almost hit midnight, I think, here.
It is past midnight.
Wow.
12:18 North American time, and the Thailand team are unaffected.
But meanwhile, though, Korea, we've seen them a couple times here now onto the stage. You know, still having their little talks, still trying to get each other prepped up, it would seem, because you know what? They dropped that Game 1, and that was a little bit unexpected. Luckily, they have the fan.
They have the fan, and that means I'm still a fan, because it means that Korea hopefully can continue playing aggressive, because that's where Korea excels. When they're playing aggressive, when they're in the enemy's jungle, building their way to that $100,000 guaranteed second place prize.
For them, a lot of people, you know, they come in as possible tournament favorites after their group stage performance here. Now, though, they are looking at a 1-0 deficit in the series, and they need to fight their way back, try and force this back into a best-of-3 scenario where they then need to take 2 more games.
And for me, at least, I'm very, very interested to see if Korea can do it, because it requires them to be able to evaluate what their opponents are doing to them, in this case being very aggressive in the early game, pressuring them to take fights that they can't win and directly counter it. And we have yet to see Korea be put in a situation where they really needed to do that. We have seen adaptation. I know that in their series versus Chinese Taipei, during the phase in the studio, we were very, I don't know if excited is the right word, to see them beginning to adapt to their opponents. But I think now's the time to see that again. See them change up, play a little bit quicker, play a little bit more risky, if that makes sense.
It was showing respect to their opponents, because this is a very headstrong team. These guys are very confident. They will play whatever they want, honestly, and they feel very confident going into the matchups. But now you're starting to see them say, okay, you know what? We can't keep doing that. We have to change things up because it's not working, especially against Thailand.
Yes, and I think that's what they need to change, is their ability to change. So let's see them play a little bit more aggressive. Let's see them play a little bit more adaptive. You noticed after that first major team fight during the first game, they never took another big team fight.
No, they were a little bit hesitant, it would seem, because honestly, they felt maybe a little bit scared. They lost that fight around the early Abyssal, and that felt a little strange to them, and maybe that's what caused them to turtle back. But you can't turtle like that when over $200,000 is on the line here, TJ.
Yeah, the winner of this gets into the grand finals, playing for that $200,000 first place prize, guaranteed the second place purse, guaranteed a shot at being the first International Arena of Valor champion.
And it's been a long road to get here. There's been 5 days of action between the group stage of the semifinals. We're now here on to day 6 in the last 2 weeks.
I think they're cracking.
Maybe, you know, maybe you can see them. Maybe they're smiling too much. They're like, guys, it's like really late. And we've played a lot of AOV in the last 2 weeks.
The pressure does definitely begin to get to you, but I see headphones going on. I see noise cancelling deployed. We're finally into the draft. I apologize for the delay. Thailand with a 1-game lead.
And that's going to be Korea on your blue side to start things off in the Game 2 draft. Meanwhile, Thailand going to be on the red side. So, Korea, what is the plan here? Going to start off with, of course, the teamy ban on blue.
The teamy being removed is a very standard play. The thing we were highlighting coming out of the last draft was Korea, maybe not the aura, but if they aren't going to play the Arum, they absolutely cannot let it get to Thailand, who will be devastating with it, I am 100% sure. So they need to start thinking about banning it.
Or Thailand, of course, the Superman ban to start things off on their red side, of course. Pretty accustomed, pretty traditional, as it would seem. For Korea here, though, the crack being banned out once again.
Yeah, and I'd like to really see them force that. Give yourself a chance to play it. Yes, Moss is a good crack, but so is J-Jack.
And oftentimes, you know, Korea in the group stage and in quarterfinals, they would pick their roamer first. They would oftentimes like to secure that before they showed what Rush would play.
And J-Jack does play a decent variety. We've seen him play that Joker support that was meta for a long time. He can also definitely play Alice or Oromar. I want to see him do that. Branch out, play something that he's comfortable with, because he was obviously uncomfortable on the Arum, and it showed in the scoreline.
And it shows here in the draft because Korea are going to opt to ban it away. Thailand, though, of course, banning out the Omen alongside that Superman, and their final ban going to be coming on through here. They don't want that Linda, so Rush won't be able to get it.
Now, who do you pick? Ooh.
Okay. So this is a little bit more custom to what we see from Korea. Pick up the support or slash the roamer, and then show what Rush is going to play. Usually, Rush will play the Violet with the Chugnar.
Yeah, occasionally we've also seen that Chugnar pushed on over to Sun in the bottom lane, and a different character, maybe a Joker, played on support. Definitely viable here.
Now for Thailand, though, Zenial is available, and they can go ahead and pick that up in their first rotation.
Arduin, sorry, shifted very far up in the draft order. I'd actually say Alice Zenial. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
That should be, because Arduin, yes, they might be contested, but you can get 2 of the best characters in the game, so that should be the play.
There you go for Thailand. Going to be locking in the Zenial and the Alice for Korea. Now, what do they want to try and answer back, or do you want to try and pick up?
Get the Violet.
I'd say pick up the Violet. You might as well, because we know Rush is going to be on something with a lot of safety, a lot of range. That's how he likes to play. Might as well show it now, or else Thailand might take that away from you.
Yeah, 007, yes, he's mostly been playing Slims, but he's entirely capable of playing the Violet, and if they think it'll mess with you, they will draft it.
Now coming on over still Korea, taking their time here, still taking patience, it would seem, even after that break.
I'd like to see them worry about their split lane as well. Maybe this is the time for the infamous Sun Tara.
Oh, please. I'd be so happy, TJ.
This is the time for a Lubu steal away from Remix, who looked so deadly on it last game. Get yourself something you can play in the split lane, like a Malik.
Yeah, Malik being the hover here, and the Irie.
Both split lane.
Okay, so both split, so they'll have some options for themselves. Sun, we saw it last game. Tried to be sneaky into the jungle. Didn't pay off in that last fight.
It's also taking away that Malik that was so deadly. We saw Thailand throughout this entire tournament. They've done such a good job with control-focused compositions. They really are defining the meta right now.
Okay.
But they won't have a Slims.
Yeah, they're going to likely force the Slims out from Korea unless, you know, Rush has got something else available. Could be the Fennec.
I kind of would prefer the Fennec over the Slims. I'm a known Slims hater, though, so take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, Thailand could be locking in the Violet and the Flash here for V-Marks.
Flash will give them a little bit more CC to work with during these team fights, as well as the potential to dive a backline like a Crixie.
Yeah, Korea here hovering. They're thinking Slims. That's what Rush has been playing otherwise from the Lindis and the Violet.
The big thing about the Slims is it puts a lot of emphasis on the spear throws. Find those major stuns and the team fight folds out before you. If you don't find those stuns, you don't do enough damage to survive these fights. So Rush needs to be key, and he needs to have follow-up.
And then on top of it, Hawk going to have the Crixie, and that leaves up the Lubu here for Thailand.
Lubu easily slotted into Remix, who had an outstanding performance on him last game. I see why Korea went for this draft. I don't disagree with much of it. Okay, let me rephrase. I disagree with the picks. I don't disagree with how they got there. I understand how Korea ended up with this draft. I think it is by far the weaker of the two.
Yeah, you know, you see Thailand on their side. They have the Zenial. You have the Alice on top of that Violet. Even then, Thailand feeling pretty confident. I can actually hear them right now from the stage. These guys are laughing. They're saying, all right, this draft, easy, boys. This game, too, we're already confident.
You might be able to hear some giggling. That's not the crowd. That's Thailand. Very excited on the stage, and frankly, if I got this draft, I'd be entirely in the same place. They have the ability to have global pressure from the Zenial. Then they have what I like to refer to as the home base composition. The Alice will throw out their hissy fit, and everything else will play from behind it, with the potential to lean out, go past, using the abilities like the flash and the poke of the Violet. But the way you counter that is dive, and Korea have very little. The Malik, the Irie, and maybe the Juggernaut with Chaos Protection could speed into some backlines, but they, by and large, are going to want to play passive, going to want to protect the Slims and Hawk's Crixie. And that, I think, is not their best playstyle, nor what will give them victory in this match.
Yeah, it's a little bit concerning because you have a Violet. The amount of range that you don't have to be anywhere close to that Crixie during the fights.
Yes, and if this Crixie's shut down before she can really get into these fights, if this Crixie's Moonfalls are forced out while she's very far away from the bulk of a team fight, that's a wasted ultimate and indeed an easy team fight for their opponents.
Well, guys, we're going to go ahead, load on in for Game 2 between Korea and Thailand. After a little bit of a pause here, the players have a chance to regroup themselves and get ourselves set. Thailand looking to go up 2-0 in the series.
Oh, Korea.
Possibly forcing Korea into the lower bracket.
This is the Korea I want to see. Stay aggressive. Unfortunately, Thailand are pressing on two fronts.
Yeah, this is a little bit interesting because this is the same side invade from both teams. We don't see this too often. Luckily for Korea, they are able to get out through the top side of the map. Cherry taking some damage. J-Jack at half health.
Pressure continuing across the entire map, though. And I like the fact that this Malik Chaser is pressuring bot lane even as we speak, even as Sun is pressuring top lane. Keep it up. This is when Korea are at their best, when they're constantly providing pressure on all sides of the map.
But on top of that, look at Thailand. Mimark's already invading into the jungle, then coming straight back into that mid lane, trying to take some of the farm away from Rush.
And I think that's very good to see. Mimarks, you know the counter. Keep Korea from being safe, keep Rush from being built, and then maybe something comes of it.
Yeah, Moss, though, gets taken pretty low. The knockup's going to land there from Hawk. Mimark's forced to dash away. Is able to get back to safety, but you can see already Korea, you overstep just a little bit, they will punish you.
And we said the key for these fights is shut down Hawk. We said the key for these fights is get to the Crixie in the backlines. They made no effort to their Thailand because Hawk in excellent positioning. He comes out of the brush, completely invisible until the moment he's doing damage.
You already see Sun up here toward the top lane, forcing Cherry to back on the Zenial. So going to miss out on a little bit of a wave, actually staying underneath the tower, still wanting to play safe. 3 members of Thailand, though, looking to position, still going for this 3v3 mid.
Keeping the Zenial low is very powerful because the Zenial, if they're low, has trouble angelic splendoring in, which is the major purpose of the Zenial. So little bits of poke, effective kills onto the Zenial are very, very effective.
Now, forces him back all the way to the base, then has to walk all the way back. Can't join the fights either, so he's actually just now going to hit that level 4, so he can join in. See Sun, though. We've seen this play before, and maybe it'll pay off here. The Zenial coming on down, trying to answer back. Nice. 007, though, going to get taken down there by Hawk. You see Thailand trying to answer back, though. Mimarks, but look at the health bars, TJ. Sun is looking to clean up on the side of Korea. Mimarks taken down low. Remix is now isolated, and they are running for the hills underneath their tower. 3-1 to Korea.
The 2 key players we said needed to stay safe were kept alive. Rush was protected. Furthermore, you could see that entire fight, Hawk was never really under pressure, and I really like seeing that.
Look at this during playoffs here, TJ. Look at the difference in the game time. You can tell Korea, they like to play fast. They like to isolate the mistakes you make. That's a 4-minute difference between the two teams.
If this game is still going past the 10-minute mark, if it's not obviously leaning in favor of Korea at, say, the 7-minute mark, you have to start favoring Thailand.
See here, 3-1 to kill total, but still the gold pretty close to even for Thailand, so they're going to be feeling a little bit more confident either way. J-Jack coming on over to the Abyssal, just wants to try and bring it out. Remarks, though, is able to find him out, and J-Jack, he's got to be careful because, you know, his performance in Game 1 was not accustomed to what we're used to.
I really like the fact that we still have pressure here in the mid lane. Even now, Hawk and J-Jack are still pushing forward because any amount of pressure they find here gives them a greater chance of managing to find this first Abyssal. They really need a kill before they feel comfortable going for it.
You see Sun there looking to pressure out Cherry toward the top side of the map. Still, though, pressing on in. It looks like Korea wants to try and group up together around this Abyssal Dragon, but Thailand is not going to allow them. Still trying to fight off this. Moss is able to jump forward, gets knocked up. Moonfall going to come on down. Minmarks gets taken down extremely low, forced to use his Cyclone. The Zenial going to now rejoin on the fight, but Chaser is able to clean up the kill. J-Jack still alive. Remix tried to finish him off. Knockup comes on through from Hawk, and Remix now fighting for his life. He'll get taken down.
Beautifully done there by Chaser, popping out of the brush, and it was crucial because Cherry had the Angelic Splendor to save him. He was coming through and he would have had the necessary heal. This is an absurd dive!
Son, what is going on? Rush comes on over, helps pick up the kill. Moss puts down the ultimate, but the tower's already gone, TJ.
I was so sure Sun was not going to get that kill, and then a spear just comes flying through from off screen, and the second it lands, they've got the damage, and furthermore, there are no defensive moves that will save Cherry from that.
Cherry now forced to have to play a little farther back toward that second-tier tower because Sun is going to try and pressure on in. And this is a little bit more what we're accustomed to, TJ. If Sun gets ahead in his lane, usually the opposing teams will try and answer, try and shut him down. But now Korea now has the rest of the map to go for. They want to try and pressure bot lane, they can go for it.
This is the Korea we needed to see. Push in, press forward, constantly pressure all the lanes, and don't let Thailand do what they did last game, which was shut down Rush. Already, we can see Rush playing very confident, using Sun to scout the objectives, and then Rush comes through to follow up, finding a ton of... Oh my god, is that multitasking?
Yeah, Hawk, you can see that's how he keeps up his damage stat. He goes for both camps at the same time. Hey,
never
that
seen that
Moonfall
before.
has got a lot of AoE. That's efficiency, TJ.
That's actually genuinely neat. It didn't work, but that's genuinely new strats. I've never seen that before. That's really cool.
Needed to focus a little bit more there on the spider, but Korea looking to position themselves around this Abyssal Dragon. Thailand, their game plan, they do not want to give up this objective. J-Jack looking to lead the charge here for Korea for a possible play. Minmarks already had to force the rush back.
We talked about this as a home base composition, right? You set up a space where you're safe, and then you fall back to it repeatedly. What Korea are doing a really good job of in these fights so far is making sure that Thailand are a little bit uncomfortable as to where they can fall back to. A little bit not sure where the safe place is, and the second that happens, Thailand has no choice but to fall back because they have a lower overall HP pool.
See Korea still keeping J-Jack toward the mid lane, trying to form a unit around Rush. 4 members now toward this river, on toward the Abyssal Dragon. Instead, Korea, they want to set up a trap. They want to catch out 1 member of Thailand, and that will open up the objective.
Any other team at this point has gotten much more in terms of objectives. Korea, though, are single-minded, and they want to build up as much farm as they can, and they want to grab as many towers as they can.
But this is the issue, TJ. They're not grabbing any more towers. You're now 7.5 minutes. Once we get closer to that 10-minute mark, you got to start looking toward Thailand, because that's where they start to excel.
Especially once Minmarks gets going. You see the stats. That man is insane, and I think there are people in this bush. They're proven incorrect, and now they've wasted 2 major ultimates.
Yeah, you see Moss already used his ultimate. Abyssal Dragon is aggroed, goes down to about half health, but Thailand, just with their positioning, is enough. Hawk gets caught out, has to flicker away. You have Cherry also looking to jump on in. Rush now answers. J-Jack comes up from the river. But he's alone right now, a little bit isolated. Thailand, though, is not going to punish.
That Malleus was moments short. That's, of course, the jump from...
Oh, J-Jack gets caught out there toward the side, but he's going to survive.
The Chaos Protection keeps him alive. He runs right out of the hissy fit and somehow, some way escapes with a sliver of HP, and only because Thailand are playing carefully.
J-Jack, unfortunately, has to go back to the base. That did give Thailand the opportunity to get some pressure onto this mid lane and maybe look for a play into the bot, try and catch out Chaser, instead going for the Abyssal Dragon.
This missile will be major. It gives Thailand an edge back into the game. Korea need to find pressure elsewhere on the map during it. They need to find a kill up here.
Oh, Sun gonna charge on forward. Cherry gets isolated by 3 members just looking to clear out the minion wave before he gets taken on down. So unfortunately for Korea, they won't be able to push that tower.
Very nicely done. They don't get the tower, but they still find a trade kill. They still find value elsewhere on the map, and that's what they need to do if they want to stay in control of this game.
Ooh, Remix getting taken down quite low. One thing we haven't mentioned, though, is Sweet J, he likes to point out Remix on this Lubu. He considers him one of the best. We haven't really seen it, but J-Jack gets caught out here by Thailand as they're able to rotate in toward the jungle.
This is what Thailand did last game. Chaser goes in.
Sun onto the side. Remix wanted to go for the engage. Then you're going to rejoin onto the fight. It's a 3v5. Chaser. Now Hawk rejoins, but Chaser is caught out. Korea leave him behind and sacrifice him to the wolves.
I don't know how Chaser ended up that far forward. He should have been so far back in comparison, and the fact that he ended up overextended like that on the Malik is deadly, because they'd lost J-Jack and Chaser repeatedly, several fights in a row, and that's going to
Oh, Hawk goes a little too far forward, has to flicker away. 007 a little too far forward, but guess what time it is, TJ? 10 minutes on the clock, and Thailand have a slight gold advantage.
10 minutes on the clock, and Korea have not done what the Koreans do in winning games.
This is a bit of an issue. Rush is forced to play his slims. I haven't seen any real flying spears other than the first
tower.
one. You can just take the tower. It feels like Korea are still, it feels like they're playing from behind.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure how I feel about this, because the best Korea is not the Korea that plays a little bit careful. You end up in a situation where they're playing, I don't know if out of character is the right phrase, but they're playing a character that isn't them.
And Remix on this Lubu has kind of been the main person to pick up the Lubu, actually, because he does enjoy it, but unfortunately the win percentage is not along with him.
So Lubu was very popular, actually, in the boot camp. Lubu was tearing up the boot camp. Basically, every team had a dedicated Lubu player, but here at the AWC itself, we've seen other characters like Irie take the role.
Well, Sun forced back underneath his tower in Thailand. Now they want to start pushing on forward. They want to try and find a weakness here in Korea, because it feels like Korea, they're just stalled out in this mid lane. They've kept all 3 members there. Finally, a rotation comes up toward the top side with Rush. Sun, though, has to be careful, because look at that down coming out from Cherry. You have 3 members of Korea, but look toward the bot lane. Thailand is trying to pressure.
Aggression from Sun
And
gets
the
the top lane. This is good from Korea, but Thailand are doing better.
And look, the tower is getting taken down, DJ. Now 007 can rejoin on toward the fight. The second tier tower in bot lane still stands. And up toward the top, Korea was able to answer likely the same amount of damage. But you know, Thailand, they're able to answer back on the aggression Korea is doing in the split lane.
Remix just popped his Conqueror, the lifesteal ultimate from Lubu, and ate the tower. Ignored everyone around him and did as much damage onto tower as possible. Oh my god!
They just went for a Dark Slayer!
When did that happen?
All right, okay, so I don't even know how that's possible by Korea, because they also took the mid lane tower. I think it was just Rush and Hawk.
I looked away for a moment. I wasn't looking at the mini-map, and somehow Rush and Hawk 2-man the Slayer without having a tank there. That's insane, and it may very well win them the game.
All right, so now it feels like Korea on the front foot, it would seem, starting to apply some pressure. They have the Dark Slayer. They picked up the first tier tower in mid lane. They got the second tier tower up in top lane. This now opens up the jungle. They can start seeping their way into Thailand and applying pressure.
That's what we want to see from Korea, this pressure, so that they can then secure all following objectives. Once they have all these tier 1 and tier 2 towers under threat, they can get more.
But they gotta be careful. They get caught out during one of these fights. Remix gets stunned by the flying spear of Rush. That's enough for the disengage. Hawk goes on in, though, onto Moss. Isn't able to pick him up.
Moss will play back. J-Jack nearby, responsible for saving that perhaps with the Chaos Protection. Now he's under threat again.
Still under threat. 007 Heaven's able to back off, actually using his ultimate, trying to predict where Korea is going through the jungle. Instead, they sidestep it and apply pressure down toward this bot lane. Moss almost gets caught out, and Hawk is going to pick up the kill. Korea get rid of the support that's crucial for this composition for Thailand.
Chaser still in the front lines. That Moonfall should be deadly, but it's shut down.
Comes back on in, though. Thailand are able to answer back 1 kill. You got the flash ultimate being used. Mimmarks, he's going in for the kill. Sun, though, is still alive, trying to back off. It's going to be a 3 for 4, but look at the health bars. That was almost an ace for Thailand.
What is that fight? Thailand managed to stay alive in the face of a Slayer buff. That is a successful team fight. They do not lose a single tower.
Cherry coming in maybe just a little bit too late on the Zenial, but still, they're able to win pretty much like you mentioned. Getting 3 of that Darkslayer buff off the map, you're feeling pretty happy. Let's take another look at the dive.
This Moonfall shutdown was what won them that fight. We're a bit later in the replay, but from that point forward, they've won everything. In fact, the only thing I would highlight as a mistake for Thailand was an overcommitment onto Sun.
Just a little overcommitment there.
But I understand how that happens, because Sun steps into the brush and you maybe didn't quite know what his HP is. You think it's lower than it actually is.
Yeah, Mimmarks almost picked up the kill there, but
was very narrow.
Unfortunately, was not able to make the play we saw earlier on in the evening here. Either way, though, it's going to be the Abyssal Dragon secured by Korea. Now sitting ahead by 4,000 gold.
Cherry,
15 minutes onto the clock now.
Amulet of Troy, Mail of Pain, Frost Cape, Leviathan.
He's pretty tanky. I think he's taking
so tanky.
And look at this, though. Sun's going to dive on in. Zenial now rejoins. You know, maybe he's picked up that Tara build we've been talking about from Sun.
Not quite, but it's almost as bad, especially with the Amulet of Troy. He's going to have so much shield HP at the beginning of these fights. It's just gross.
See, though, Hawk uses that Moonfall. Mimmarks gets taken down extremely low, and right when he comes out of the ultimate, he'll get taken down by Korea. No minion wave, unfortunately, so they can't push in on toward the tower, but bot lane is theirs for the taking. Sun able to push forward with the help of Rush.
Second that Cyclone ends and Mimmarks falls, there's pressure from Korea. They want to follow this up. They want to finish this up with a high ground tower pressure.
Need to break the base of Thailand. That is the key here. Even using the heal to try and push forward. The second tier tower falls. Cherry has to try and get out of there with the ultimate. He will just escape, TJ, with his life.
That was down to the wire, but the fact that he gets out is critical because so much damage was just thrown onto him. I'd like to actually revisit Mimmarks dying. I wasn't quite sure how he died to the Malik. I think he actually died to the Mail of Pain reflecting damage.
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think it was the Cyclone damage being fed back through the Mail of Pain that gave the Malik the kill, which is like microscopic, but Mimmarks was very, very low when he went into the ultimate.
And that is the flashy plays with the flash, unfortunately. You try and go on in there with the low health bar with that ultimate, but fortunately the Mail of Pain going to reflect some of that damage, and he gets taken down. For Thailand, though, they're able to hold on to their high ground towers. That is what they have remaining of their base. Cherry gets caught out toward the side. I think he's accepted his fate. He's waiting for his team, but Mimmarks, look at the damage that was just put down onto that flash.
That was risky from Mimmarks. Yes, you have super speed, but that does not make you invulnerable. And if they're quick enough, they can absolutely burn down a low HP character like the Flash if they overstep their bounds.
And actually, if they picked up the kill there, that could have been a lot worse.
That could have been game.
That could have been game. One overstep from 2 members of Thailand. That's all it takes. But look at this. Mimmarks now back from full health. Is looking to look for a kill onto Sun. Sun, though, will escape.
They get him low enough, though. Sun and the rest of the team need to back up for now. They'll take this time to secure Abyssal Dragon. And then I think they'd like... Oh, my God! 44 KDA!
That is coming in from the quarterfinals.
Okay.
Quick reminder, that is from the quarterfinals. The start of the day. But still, ridiculous.
Sorry, what I was going to say is they're going to full back, secure Abyssal Dragon, and now Korea need to start worrying about the Darkslayer.
Yeah, Remix clearing out toward the top side. Darkslayer going to be joining us in 15 seconds. 17 and a half minutes. These games are going the distance, TJ. But you know, honestly, when we look at this, oftentimes we give Thailand the advantage when it gets later and later.
Yes. And even though Korea is currently in control of the game, like you said, Thailand are a very good adaptation team. They're a very good team fight team. The later this game goes, I think, the more it favors them, particularly now that they're going for Slayer.
See this, 2 members of Korea. That's going to be the call from Thailand. Can Korea contest this Dark Slayer in the top side of the map? Because Rush is all the way down. Dark Slayer taking on down. It's going to be over to 007. Myanmar's looking for the kill onto Hawk, and they get the kill onto J-Jack. Chaser rejoins on toward the fight. The Crixie not going to be able to find the target onto the 007. You see Violet able to position herself through these fights. Chaser gets chunked, gets the heal out, and that will keep him alive.
That should not have kept him alive, but he barely stays up. Chaser's safety will mean that Korea won't lose too many towers. It should be 2 or 3, but this becomes basically a tie game.
And you see the map awareness from Thailand. 2 members of Korea show, especially Rush. Rush should not be on the opposite side of the map from the Dark Slayer when it is up.
And that's not been the first time. That hurt them last game as well around this Dark Slayer.
Almost gets taken out there. The tower will fall. You start to see the swing of momentum going back in favor of Thailand as they clean up towers in every lane.
Everyone's back for Korea now. They just need to hold on to their high grounds. If they do that, this is a tie game, and basically the next team fight wins it.
But this is what we saw in Game 1, TJ. Once Korea started to lose traction, they just hurtled in their base looking for a fight here and there, but honestly, it just was a slow death, and Thailand were able to suffocate them.
The difference is they still have the gold lead here. They still have the kill lead by an astronomical amount.
Still, though, pressure coming in here from Thailand. Want to try and take down the second-tier tower. The Atlas ultimate just looking to zone away Korea. 007's able to get some damage on there, but doesn't have any minions to fully take it on down. But even without the minions, TJ, that's the power of the Violet.
Stop shooting the opposing minions. Just kill the tower. Thank you. It's so powerful.
That's the power of that Violet. Once you get 20 minutes, TJ, anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, 20 minutes into the game, the next team fight, like I say, likely wins it, failing some heroics. And Korea do still have the upper hand.
Mark dives on to Rush, and he's so low! They get Hawk, and that is the key member. Rush is able to survive. Chaser's trying to tank Korea. They need to back off immediately.
Very well done by Korea. Minimize their damage. This should be at least a high ground falling, though, and they need to be very careful what they give up in the defense.
Remix gets caught out there by the flying spear. Chaser goes down extremely low. Myanmar's is able to find the kill, but the resurrection will be there for Chaser.
Ancestral Glory was active. He's back in the fight, and that is critical. 24 seconds still on Hawk.
Still see 007 looking to chip away at these towers. If one minion is able to get close enough to that tower, he's just going to be able to take it down in likely 2 shots.
Yeah, this is all on wave clear right now, and that's why that easy fit is so powerful.
You saw he looked for the play, tried to go in with the ultimate, but had to back off. Korea still clearing out these minions before they even get close to the tower. They're able to keep it alive.
Bot lane tower does go down, though. There's the Angelic Splendor required on top lane, but the high ground has been broken.
Now Korea's base has been fractured. They are able to pick up the kill onto Remix. He's going to be down for 40 seconds. What can Korea get on the map? What can they look for?
Bottom line, they basically need a high ground in response. This game is going to very, very slowly and steadily tilt in favor of Thailand because they have that bot lane pressure. Eventually, Korea will be forced to take a defensive fight inside their base if they're unable to find more ground here and a high ground in response.
Well, that's going to be the 3rd Abyssal Dragon taken by Korea. They almost took down Myanmar's. That is the play you're looking for. You can see how tanky this Zenial is, though. Able to just look for the front line. Korea, though, have to back off. All their members are up. Remix has rejoined us just now. It's going to be a 5v5, but the high ground in bot lane was taken. Look at this, though. Sun's looking to push out the wave as long as possible and then back off. Buy Korea some time.
That Zenial has added Amulet of Longevity to his build. Of course, one of the most expensive defense items, and I think items bottom line. He has so much HP! And that's so powerful because Zenial's passive actually gives him a percentage of his maximum HP as damage, so you can build much more defensively on the Zenial and still find value.
For you, TJ, when you look at Korea, what is the optimal fight? Are you looking just to catch out 007 with a spear, Is there some other way? Because I feel like the team fight is
Me
in
marks.
favor. Me marks.
Let me marks go too far forward, shut him down.
Well, J-Jack going forward. Speaking of forward, Hawk is getting shredded. Able to escape with his life. Use the Moonfall. Rush can't be that far forward.
They survived the ultimate, but they'll be back up soon, and this means Korea need to regroup and take a fight now.
You can see, though, the minion being cleared out immediately. Alice ultimate coming on down. Chaser wants to act as the front line. Spear is not able to connect on any members. Over toward the side, though. Sun has to back off, trying to go toe-to-toe with Mimmarks.
This Zenial is nearing the base and bottom lane. Watch Cherry, he's getting ever closer.
You see Korea trying to rotate down, maybe try and pick him off, but he's able to get to the safety of his teammates. And Thailand looking now to close the door on game 2. You see the Zenial coming on down. High ground is likely to fall here. Korea are able to find members of Thailand. You can see the health bars, but look at that high ground tower. Just one minion attack would take it down.
Sun gets back up with the Ancestral Glory, though. They traded 1-0. Korea stay alive. Staying alive is not enough, though. They need to gain ground now, because this Dark Slayer is coming up 10 seconds away. If Korea don't mount a decent attack, that's GG.
But look at mid lane. That high ground tower is also going to fall, TJ. Korea, game 2. It looked like it was in their favor to begin things off, but now the Dark Slayer available for Thailand if they want to go for the play. This is a gutsy call from Korea, because Thailand could just wait this out, wait for the minions to push in.
Have had far too many chances already.
Goes on in, 007, he's caught out toward the side. TJ, that's the Violet, gonna fall over onto the side. Korea, though, they lose 2 members. Rush and Sun are going down. Meanwhile, minions start to pour in from the bot lane. Zenial rejoins on toward the fight. J-Jack is able to help secure the kill. Rush is going to get it himself, but he got taken down. You see Thailand are looking to clean up the rest of Korea and look to take game 2.
That should be it. The Zenial Cherry rejoining with the Angelic Splendor right off of the respawn. Absolutely is the nail in the coffin. Failing heroics from J-Jack. This is GG.
Unfortunately, he is going to be put down in the jungle or chased out. You see Mimmarks, just go for the base. There you go. Flash now coming in through the mid lane. It's going to be the ace for Thailand. And now Korea looking at the possibility of dropping down to the loser bracket as Thailand go up 2-0 in the series.
Again, Korea look better, but that was not enough, and that was not the Korea we were looking for heading into this set.
You can see the squad of Korea a little bit quiet here. Maybe the fatigue is starting to seep in. It seemed a little bit weird there from Korea. They got themselves the early advantage, but they just weren't able to convert it into towers. And this is a little bit of an issue we saw with China in their last series. They were able to pick up early kills, but the objectives just weren't there.
It is now 1 a.m. And the Korean team, I'm seeing it get to them. This is a much more tired style of play. They're not going for the major risks. You could see there were very little massive engages from Chaser. Hawk didn't get the major moonfalls we were looking for. That to me is a sign of a careful team, not the Korean team I was hoping for. The early phase, we did get it. The early phase, we got to see the Koreans pressuring every single lane. We got to see them finding early value, and then it felt like they stalled up. The second they gained control of the game, I feel they lost it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they had that Dark Slayer available, unfortunately for them. They just weren't able to do a whole lot in Korea. There were a couple times where you said, you know, if you get a high ground tower, this game is likely in the bag, but they just aren't able to get into the base of Thailand.
And this final desperate Dark Slayer push, you may be a bit confused, of course. They didn't know that Slayer wasn't being taken. When the Malagol came through, that was, they're probably already fighting Slayer. It's do or die time. And the second he did dive in, the second he did engage, became aware Thailand were just waiting for them steadily.
You saw the reactions there from Korea after a 22-minute game against Thailand. That is literally double their average game time in playoffs. This is going into the late game. This is where we're starting to see a little bit of, you know, weakness here from Korea.
Thailand establishing their archetype here. What they do well is slug out a slow brawl. Thailand do very well if the games go late. Thailand do very well at making those games go late because they're so adaptable and so good at coordination on the fly.
So interesting here, TJ. Looks like Korea are opting to actually take the red side on the pick and ban for game 3. I don't know, really, TJ. I think it comes down to the gameplay. It comes to the play style. I don't know if the picks are going to be what helps them here.
I feel they've lost both of the drafts so far. But I agree not by much, and I agree that in the early games, they've oftentimes looked like Korea were winning it. So I'm not too sure what they can change in the draft. I will say I feel that the split lanes have not been, that is a talking to.
No, that is a passionate coach. They understand right now that they need to fight back, or else they lose their opportunity to secure at least $100,000 in their matchup tomorrow.
I feel, going back to the draft, the split lanes, we've seen a ton of good Irie play. What I feel is missing from that Irie is the opportunity to stay long-term in the enemy jungle. That's where, say, a Tara would excel.
You can see just the contrast here, TJ, between the coaches. Thailand, he's smiling. Meanwhile, Korea, it is all serious. This is do or die here. If
that is a coach and a team up against being knocked down to the lower bracket at the AWC.
And that is scary, too, because we've seen now Chinese Taipei, they were able to take the series against China. And for Korea, that's a little bit concerning now because, you know, if you drop on down, you're going to be facing likely and even as a tough opponent as possibly Thailand.
Thailand do open up this banning phase. The Omen, again, instantly gone.
Don't want to give that over to Korea. Don't even want to first pick it here from Thailand. They seem to have a game plan. Korea, being on the red side, are, of course, forced to ban away the Superman. Don't want to leave that open for Thailand, and likely also going to be the ARM. So you already got 2 bans that you have to throw out on the red side. You're forced to. Thailand even looking to ban out the Zenial, maybe going for a different plan here.
I like the removal of the Zenial from Thailand. It's a very, very powerful character. If you're maybe not thinking about first picking it, you definitely don't want to give it to Korea. And we see a lot of Zenial being slid over in that second turn on the red side because it's not something that teams typically feel comfortable first picking because something else more important has slipped through the draft. So it's oftentimes that red team that does get Zenial.
Of course, Zenial being the ban for Korea also. Of course, banning away the Arum, like we mentioned, it's kind of forced on that red side. They even had to ban it while they were on the blue side because I think Thailand are fine giving that over to Korea.
Yeah, Thailand won it in the pool because, as we've seen, Jajack does not feel comfortable in the character. And if Thailand were to get it, they would absolutely dominate with it. Moss is a terror.
Yeah, for Thailand, also the Teamy being banned out. So we've seen this a couple times. Actually, all the time on blue side. What I'm talking about, that's like, I think, the number 1 ban on blue side.
Because Teamy is a character that you're capable of first picking, but if you do so, you're locking yourself in. So if you don't feel like you want to play Teamy, if you feel like there's something else you'd prefer, you ban him out on blue side.
For Korea, what's going to be the final ban here for Game 3?
Lindis.
I feel like it's the Lindis. Or do you try? Wow.
Oh.
Okay, they want to try and keep it up. So pretty much they're for.
Interesting.
Man, that's
was a
007 on Lindis.
I get what you don't want to give Moss Grack, but I would rather give Moss Grack than Lindis to 007 because that Lindis is so powerful.
Korea, now you lose out on the Lindis. We've seen just how powerful it is, like you mentioned, opting in to pick up their support and roam or 2 in their first rotation.
They do get the Alice, they do get the Juggernaut, both very powerful. They will likely get the Violet. Very powerful for Korea. This looks like a better draft. They need a killer mage.
Yeah, there's still plenty of options there for Hawk, too. Play the Crixie. Also, there's Talia. But unfortunately, usually they pair that with the Grax, so they're likely not going to bring that out immediately. And with that Juggernaut, likely the Violet, like you mentioned. For Rush, oftentimes the combo that we see. For Thailand, though, what do they want to try and lock in here?
Take away Sun's Irie, or prioritize Flash, which makes sense. I suspect we will see the Irie taken away from Sun unless it's picked here for Korea, and this is where I see how much they value it. Not very much, apparently. They're going for the Scud sideline.
Yeah, possibly, because they don't have to lock in their mage. It's already been shown on the side of Thailand, so they can leave that for the last pick. What does Korea want to prioritize here for Sun? The Scud. You know, the Ahri, I think, has been doing just fine. The Rio. All right. Okay, now they're playing with my heart, TJ.
Vero would be
Interesting.
Strange.
Interesting.
That was good. We both waited and came up with an adjective. I think it would
This is a little bit more realistic.
Yes, this is what I would expect. You have the Scud to swap over to Sun. Rush will play the Violet and Jungle, and I think that's a good lock-in. The question is now, what is your final pick for Korea? They have a lot open to them, and they need to fill the mage slot, but I don't think you want to pick up a Crixie, not versus a Flash, not versus the pressure that Thailand has offered consistently. I think you want something a little bit more self-reliant.
We see Thailand here having some fun. I know. Like they're not going to happen. I don't like that Mina hover. I know me and you have a little bit of an issue with Mina being picked up here, you know?
Yeah,
I feel like there's better options.
I do like, though, the Kilgroth. Kilgroth is a very good Alice counter because you can just dive right through the middle of the fight. You can...
Oh my goodness!
Pura confirms!
All right, TJ, for the people who have not been able to see it at home, and we haven't seen this entire World Cup, what is Korea dealing with?
I am in awe that we see a Pura here, because Pura is typically not seen as a powerful character. What they will have is stuns, and then crucially, I hope this is right, because I don't know this off the top of my head, to be honest, Nature's Demise will be her ultimate. That's going to be a big AoE heal. No other character has a big AoE heal quite like this. It'll pulse several times, and anyone standing within it is regenerated. I think it's called Nature's Demise, but they've really put me on the spot because nobody plays Korea seriously in ranked.
This is interesting. I'm at a loss of words here, TJ. It's an interesting combo because really, is there much of a dive here from Korea?
No, and I guess that's why. What I would say is Korea with the poke that can come through from the Violet. Yes, okay, actually, no. I see how you shut down the Pura. You're instantly able to get into the backlines with the Scud. The big thing with Pura, though, is mostly what she does is stun. She doesn't have a whole lot of damage. So I'm just confused as to why. Thailand, are you just having too much fun?
They were smiling pretty hard there. There were a lot of fist bumps there. Maybe, hey, they said, you know what? We want to keep TJ here all the way till 2 a.m. We want to try and keep him up.
Well, I'm all right if they tell me how Pura works. If they're like, hey, here's how Pura's meta, then they can keep me here as long as it takes, because this is a character we have literally never seen in competitive play, and there's a very good reason why. She is only useful. I'm mystified, by the way. I don't know if you.
I know you are like. This is the first time I've seen TJ just like confused with life in general. This is his mind has been exploded.
So she has a whole bunch of stuns. I can certainly see the value for that, particularly for a Thailand team that loves to use CC. But she just doesn't have the damage to be. Are you running her split? Is this support?
We'll have to see, TJ.
How?
So we load on into Game 3 between Thailand and Korea. Korea looking down the barrel at possibly going down to the lower bracket. Thailand looking to continue their domination after the boot camp. Look to lock in their ticket into the grand final tomorrow.
So Pura, as they should be, is being played in support. The goal is to constantly run around and, I guess, heal up your allies as they get low. Certainly an ultimate that could be powerful in the laning phase, but doesn't do enough healing in the team fight to turn things around, I don't think.
Oh, Hawk, gotta be a little bit careful here. You do see Moss just trying to help out my marks still. A little bit early for them to do much.
You know, damage coming through from Moss, constantly able to provide a little bit of poke, and then more importantly, the healing in the laning phase. That's going to be very cool. If Thailand are looking for a constant fight, that's what they should do. But I don't think they should be looking for a constant fight, because Korea excelled.
And they're able to take out Remix, and that is giving the first kill on over to Rush.
Moss will continue pressing forward in the middle of the map. This is not a good look for Thailand, to be honest. They're already playing much more passively, and it's already being punished hard by Korea.
And already J-Jack coming on in on this Alice, lands the stun, and Moss is taken down, and TJ has the question marks above his head.
That's why you don't run Pura. That's why people don't like running Pura. And I'm confused because I've yet to see anything that changes my mind about the character.
Well, still plenty of time for Korea and Thailand. Only down 800 gold to Korea. Only down 2 kills, only 2 minutes.
We've seen these games go the distance, TJ. Last one went 22.5 minutes. So Thailand, they are known to be able to stall this out if Korea gets the early advantage.
Remix will be up top as well, trying to constantly maintain pressure, and that's what the Kilgroth is good at. But I think Chaser on the Scud is a decent match because he has a lot of good burst.
Yeah, and speaking of the game time, it's 22 minutes, 19 seconds, the longest game
Prediction
of the AWC.
This is going to be a quick one. I don't think this Thailand roster can hold not playing something so silly. I think this is where the Korean machine finally spins into gear.
Is this now Thailand almost taking a page out of Korea, not playing seriously when they're so far ahead in the series?
Well, I don't want to call them out on it yet because they have just gotten first Abyssal and Korea don't have pressure elsewhere on the map to counter.
Well, so Thailand, they're able to adjust there and pick up the Abyssal Dragon. Look up toward top side, though. You have 3 members of Korea fully committing to the split lane. This is kind of a first for this series. Oftentimes, they tried to play around the Abyssal Dragon. They said, you know what? We don't even want to deal with Moss. We're just going to go for the towers. We're going to go back to what worked during groups.
Build your control for Korea. That's where they do best. I want to see more of that side lane pressure. I want to see them punish the split lane nature of the competition.
Wow.
Thailand are playing.
Remix almost gets just taken down. Memarks tries to come on over toward the side. J-Jack lay downs the ultimate to try and go for the disengage. 007, gotta be a little bit careful. Tried to take down Hawk. Chaser also looking to take him down. Still though, both members a little bit low. Here comes Cherry.
Cherry is nearby. Memarks will hard commit into this, though. There's the Nature's demise.
Yeah, Moss looking to do what he can over toward the side, and J-Jack's gonna fall. That's gonna be the first kill here for Thailand.
Yeah, and you know what? I hate to say it, but Pure Ultimate did help, slowing down the fight, locking down the escape, making it difficult for Moss to get out.
And look at this, another member, Sun, tried to go aggressive, walked into 3 members of Thailand. Memarks just diving onto Sun, not able to pick him up. Chaser goes in trying to get some damage. Hawk has to back off underneath his tower. Thailand still got that pressure. Got some minions in mid lane looking to pressure.
Korea again though, cowed, playing grouped and defensive. That's not what we've wanted to see from them, and we've been very explicit about that.
Remix looking to apply pressure toward that side lane. Instead backing off as he goes toe-to-toe with the Scud. You see Memarks just running on over, tried to steal that one away from Rush, but was unsuccessful.
So I want Korea to force team fights, which isn't really in their nature. They typically want to play farm until they feel comfortable to force team fights, but here they go.
Oh, 007 almost gets taken down here on the Lindis, is able to get back to safety. See Korea, though, looking to pressure toward the top side. Cherry's running back toward the base. He knows Korea's on the way.
So the reason I want Korea to force team fights is because, 1, that's the one thing they haven't been doing, and that's how Thailand have been edging out these games. 2, Moss you can punish, because so much of what Moss has is a little bit of CC and mostly very, very punishable laning-focused abilities.
See Hawk over toward the side, just trying to zone away Moss. Memarks is able to clear out the minions, but still that tower gets taken down to half health. Thailand are able to hold on.
Heal's pretty good.
The heals are pretty nice to have. Nice thing to have.
Pretty good in lane.
Good in lane. You see the shot coming on down. Memarks wants to get on top of J-Jack, looking to burn down the Alice. The flicker forward,
nice.
And that's going to be the kill coming on over for Thailand. Maybe 2 underneath the towers. 007 continues over. Rush tries to rejoin onto the fight, but he's a little too late to the party. Does pick up the kill. And the rest of Korea now is here to answer as Sun picks up the kill onto Moss, but he will sacrifice his life. Back and forth, but Korea, they're the ones that lose the extra member in the end.
Rush is still in trouble here. This tower should fall. Chaser's holding though. Nicely done.
Able to clear out the minions, but it did get taken down to about 1/3 of its health by Remix alone on that Kilgroth.
Minions in the top lane are still going strong here for Korea. They're continuing to push forward, and they're going to have to deal with that on the Thailand side in just a moment.
See Rush up toward that top side, just looking to clear out his jungle, keep farming on this Violet as the safety of his front line, also being Alice, but yet again, you see Thailand are looking for the plays, especially onto J-Jack. That seems to be the main target they've been able to catch out here during the early part of the game.
Watch Chaser, he's a bit far forward. He's read the room though. Now's a good time to leave it, and he'll back out again though. Uncontested Abyssal Dragon.
This will be the second one of the game for Thailand. It's gonna get picked up. Still though, gold dead even. Korea with a slight advantage, 4-4, the kill count. Thailand with the series lead, 2-0. We're starting to close in on this 10-minute mark, TJ. We're at 7.5, and Korea, they haven't really turned on.
If Korea lose to a Pura, they will never live it down until that Pura is proven viable elsewhere.
What if it comes
just
out
saying
again?
that.
TJ, this might be just a taste of the future.
I don't want to live in this future.
Well, Korea, they might try and change it
Nicely
themselves as they take down Moss. And they're also able to trade the 1-for-1 as Chaser got taken out. But look at the damage onto Memarks, but they're not able to finish off the kill. And 007 on this Lindis, TJ. Rush is able to survive, but he's forced to back off.
It started so well with a good dive, but again, they're not focusing the key players. 007 is surviving and getting very, very farmed up, as is Rush.
And Remix 2 on the side lane on this Kilgroth. He hasn't been really contested, it would seem. He got pressured out early, but now he's been able to farm up, take towers alone. 007, though, positioning, we've talked about it before. He got a little bit caught out.
Good. Shut down 007, shut down Memark, shut down the split lane Kilgroth. You can get back into this game, Korea, but you're looking way past the 10-minute mark. This is going to be another long game if Korea are to turn it around.
See Remix down toward that bot side. They're looking for a play here in mid. Moss gets stunned up by J-Jack. I'll give it to him. His Alice has been really good this game. A lot of the fights being started here by Korea are off his stun, so good positioning, good predictions onto the members of Thailand. Memarks tries to go in, but he gets deleted by Rush.
Beautifully done. Be aware of when you can pick off a flash like that. Punish him for going too far forward with good CC and follow-up damage.
And look at this top lane tower. It's just got a sliver of health. Cherry, he's looking to just clear out the wave with the shock, trying to zone back Korea. 007, he's trying to get onto Rush, but now he's cut off the rest of his team. Moss can't help him, TJ.
Moss and Cherry just need to fall back, play safe behind this tower, but the tower is not a very safe space.
Now Remix also getting pressured out here toward the bot side of the map. Chaser starting to hold his own on the Scud. And you can see now Korea rotating down toward the bot side of the map. They're going to look for Remix if he keeps going for this fight.
This is the omnipotent Korean pressure I want to see omnipresent throughout the map. Unfortunately, Remix wins that side lane fight, and now they just fall back, resetting, playing passive again.
And big thing for me is they still only have the 2 towers, and Thailand can pick up their 3rd Abyssal Dragon.
Maybe if you put enough gold on Europe, she becomes meta.
Well, that seems to be the secret.
I'm still a bit salty.
Well, Remix is also going to be happy too on this Kilgroth because he got
Fury
pressured out
is
early.
not and cannot be the focus. Like you say, the Kilgroth is getting fed. Memarks also, I think, is very important. If he builds up an early gold lead, he's going to be terrifying. And 5,000 personal gold on 007 will lead to him doing so much damage in these fights.
You can see Thailand Hawk gets stunned up there. Memarks, though, is not able to finish off the kill. J-Jack laid down the ultimate. Sun is over toward the side. The shields come out. Rush is able to get some damage on down, but they're not able to find any kills. Memarks also jumping on in on top of Rush. If he's able to get the kill immediately, that takes down the main member of Korea. This Violet has to survive the fights.
They have to kill 007 like this.
007, he's going to get taken on down. It's going to be a trade 1-for-1. What does Korea, though, try and do on the map with a trade of Sun?
You need to first push back Remix. Getting Sun off the board means you should and could take team fights now, and I need you to do that.
Oh, Remix, though, he's going to take down Chaser. Oh, are you serious?
Beautifully done by Chaser. The ultimate ekes out the fight with no HP at all, but that's what they need to do. The 2 biggest damage dealers shut down.
You see Hawk toward the top side of the map. He's trying to take out the minions, but that's a little too far forward. Thailand, they're able to take down the tower. Meanwhile, in bot lane, though, Korea was able to answer back, but Hawk will get taken down.
That Nature's Demise again, shutting down the retreat. I guess we're living in a Pura meta now. Memarks will need to run away in the mid lane. Korea are still finding pressure. They're definitely not out of this game, but we've said they tend to lose these games that go longer. And even while they're in control, they've lost a lot of the major objectives. And here's another up for grabs.
Yeah, you saw the Darkslayer almost started there. Sun's onto the back line, and 007, he's got nowhere to run. He goes back to Cherry, but he's fighting 3 members numbers. Lindis is taken down. Moss almost gets taken down himself. Chaser now trying to run back. Thailand, they're able to turn around this fight, TJ, and answer with 2 kills of their own.
Memarks is solo, it's disgusting. Sun should have been able to find the kill, but Korea don't quite close out that major mage, and as a result, they can't win this fight.
Remix has to back off, already level 15 though, and can go for the 4th Abyssal Dragon if he decided to. Doesn't know where Korea is, so instead going to opt to push out the wave in bot lane, allow the minions to apply some pressure, and then go for the Abyssal Dragon himself.
Kill and gold is now tied though, and we broached the 10-minute mark now at 12 minutes. This starts to look ugly just on historical precedent for Korea. Thailand, if they win this, go through to the grand final.
Remix gonna start up the Abyssal Dragon himself finally. Has to be a bit careful if he shows himself doing this. That could be the call from Korea if they want to go for the top side of the map. Instead, you see them, Korea, opting to play around this Dark Slayer. Cherry's gotta be careful. You can see on your mini-map, wants to lead the charge. Doesn't go forward. Memarks almost gets taken out by a crit from Rush.
That was close. That's what they need to be doing, constantly finding and shutting down those pushes.
Has to be careful himself, gets taken down to 1/3 of his health on the Tulin. 007 looking to pressure forward through the jungle. Can't be the front line though on this Lindis. We saw what happened last fight. He was chased out by Sun on the side. Rush gets some damage. You still see how much goes on down. Moss, we'll get some help here. You see just how much this focus is here from Korea.
I kind of like the Pura in the lane phase.
I know you do.
Versus a poke meta, it's very powerful.
Look at this, Memarks gets on top of Rush and the rest of the team. Thailand are able to take the first tier tower in mid.
The only active item we've seen regularly used is that Arctic Orb, giving the old Endure effect. You're invulnerable during that time, and that was perfectly timed from the Cyclone to wait it out and find damage immediately after its effect ended on Hawk.
And this is the issue for Korea. If they don't find the win early, the team is able to turn it around. 007 gets taken down there by Rush with the ultimate. Moss the next target. Final hit's gonna come on through. It's a double kill for Rush.
Very, very well done to respond. Korea are gaining map control and winning these fights, but they're unable to ever really hold on to it. I want to see them playing aggressive now, finding pressure in these lanes, and crucially, threatening that Dark Slayer.
You see Remix picking up the Seagull, going to get some vision for themselves on the bot side of the map. But you still see Korea. Game plan, play around the Dark Slayer. If Thailand decides still that damage, Cherry is going to get taken down. That's the main front line here for Thailand.
Remember when we reviewed stats and Rush had like a nuts KDA? That's why. Because if he gets his full build into these late games, he just deletes people.
And guess what? The minions starting to pour in here. This high ground tower is just going to get chunked and chunked by Rush. Memarks tries to kill on in the flicker.
No, it isn't.
Oh my goodness, Rush still somehow alive.
I thought Memarks had really overstepped his bounds that time, but he flickers in ever more aggressive and then super speeds all the way back, untouchable during that time.
Still see Remix toward the bot side of the map. 007's gonna get caught out. We've seen this before. TJ Thunderbird comes on in. J-Jack picks up the kill. Moss is the next target. Hawk will finish him off.
Turn this into Dark Slayer, and Korea basically have the game in the bag. They're rotating towards it. They have not started it.
Still have not started it. Rush now going to aggro it. Cherry's over here toward the side. Does not have the ability, though, to try and steal that one away. And actually had to use his ultimate to get to safety. Korea now with Dark Slayer in hand.
This should be their game.
It should be.
This is their game to lose.
You've seen this before,
They lost their game last time, though.
And the game before.
This will be basically guaranteed a high ground. Thailand still have a couple seconds on most of their key respawns. They can't take this fight.
Possibly looking for it still, though. You can see Memarks looking to just clear out the lane in mid lane, gets himself back. Hawk is not able to do a whole lot there. You do see Cherry, though, the damage Rush on this Violet is able to just carry these fights. You got to take down the Violet if you want to win anything.
And I should take it back. Very good defense from the entirety of the Thailand side, particularly 007 on that Lind is clearing wave repeatedly with these entrapments.
You can still see, though, the tower is going to get taken down. Rush knocks it down himself with the Violet. Now super minions starting to pour in from the mid lane. You still have the Scud over toward the side, trying to apply pressure. Chaser wants to go for a flank. Cherry just wants to use the shock to clear out the wave. Chaser, he's looking for a way in. He has to pull the trigger some point. Memark's on to rush, but he stays alive. The flash is down. Korea with the man advantage.
They don't have wave anywhere but mid, but that might just be enough to make this very scary for Thailand.
Thailand trying to get themselves back toward for this defense. Korea, though, the arm is there. They want to go for the core. They're not able to finish it off themselves. Thailand, they're able to hold. Sun has to fall back, but it's too late. J-Jack, the next target, and Thailand are able to shred them apart.
Somehow, some way, Korea stay alive. They're still in this game, but Thailand are as well.
Thailand are able to finish off Hawk. This gives them a lot of control. They are able to at least find something. Shock comes back off cooldown, and Hawk has nowhere to run. It's going to be the ace coming down for Thailand.
How long on the respawn? 17 seconds at the shortest. That's enough to win if they're good on wave.
You still see Thailand pushing it up. We have the replay of the final hold of the fight. TJ.
I really like that Malik shot coming through. I really like the pressure from the entire team here. Just now the respawns are coming in. Thailand could have won this.
They could have went for it, but they decided against it. Because look, you still have the respawn timer on Hawk.
During that base dive that came through, I really liked that they had instant focus on the players that were causing the most trouble for Korea. You could see Rush was one of the first players to fall. You're instantly burning down people that are in the front lines, chewing through your back lines, if that makes sense.
Well, Memarks is able to clear out the top side of the map. Now, Super Minion's going to start pouring toward Korea on the bot lane. This is now something you have to worry about if they leave it.
What is this game?
This series, TJ.
Yes!
The game time has been nuts. I think we're close to almost an hour in total over 3 games.
22 minutes was the AWC record set in this last game. We're now at 20 minutes.
Close. Still 19-13. Still about 40 seconds. In Korea, they might be saying, we don't want to go again. We don't want to set another record, TJ. Cherry is caught out toward the side, still alive. Moss is the front line, and that might be the nail in the coffin. You see immediately, Remix has to re-spot.
No, Remix is going to stay there, and I agree with that play, because he can threaten a tower, and the second they see that wave crash and Memarks to retreat.
Onto the side, gets the Cyclone down, Shock comes on it, they get rushed in Thailand! That's the target they're looking for! Memarks still on toward the side, Hawk is still alive, now Remix rejoins.
007 still damaging everyone on this
Thunderbird.
field. Korea need to back up, and they, again on the Thai side, have earned themselves a few more minutes.
How is this team still alive, TJ?
They have been on the brink of defeat so many times, and now both teams, for a moment, are wounded. Neither team should be willing to go for a fight, and indeed, Korea should have the map control.
Hawk.
More players on the map.
007 gets Hawk down to a third of his health. Remix and Hawk gonna escort the minions into the bot lane, then back off, regain control of the map. Darkslayer still quite a ways away for either team. You start to see Thailand here. That is the objective. You kill Rush, you take the fight.
Same goes for 007 and Memarks opposing them, both of which have been responsible for so much of their team's damage. Currently 5, 7, and 5 on 007.
As we get here into overtime at the TCL Chinese Theater. Game 3, Thailand looking to lock in their ticket into our grand final.
The winner is guaranteed $100,000 of this match. They're guaranteed at least the second place prize purse. Not to mention, of course, the chance of that first place.
See Sun over toward the side, has to be a little bit careful. Cherry is hidden here, maybe looking for a play, instead looking to back off. They don't want to make the gutsy move, because look at this. Remix is going to go down toward this bot lane. He's going to force pressure.
They see Wave.
Memex,
They see him.
Memarks, he has to be careful, gets back to safety. This forces now a member from Korea to have to answer.
So the fact that they see Remix down there in the bot lane instantly allows Korea to play a bit more aggressive, because they know where Remix is, and crucially they know how separated he is. However, they don't fight the fight with that time, because Memark stalls up and then super speeds away. Now this is going to be another Abyssal Dragon.
And this is actually the perfect lane for Thailand to actually take the high ground tower, because it forces Korea to have to focus toward the bot side of the map, because guess what? Dark Slayer is coming back up in 4 seconds. Someone has to answer these super minions, and it's going to be Sun.
And Chaser, like you say, down there in the bot lane, dealing with that super minion wave, cannot be here for this Slayer fight.
And Memark's over toward the side, tries to catch out Sun. Sun is actually looking to go toe-to-toe. Hawk gets taken down to about half health. This forces Korea to have to play a little bit safe, but Remix once again in the bot lane trying to pressure. Memarks has to be careful into a 2v1. J-Jack over toward the side. Cherry gets on toward the back line of Korea. Rush is able to stay alive. They get Cherry. That's the front line down.
I could be incorrect. I think that's Cherry's third death this game.
Oh my God, Remix! He's just gonna go for the core! He's going to take it down! And they lock their way into the grand final!
What did I just watch? I have no words. Remix slides through a defended base, one with Team Korea members in them, and sends them down to the lower bracket at the AWC finals.
I have no words, TJ. You saw the one minion by the core. That was enough for Remix to just say, screw it, I'm going for the core, I'm going for the core, I'm going for the game win, and I'm carrying my team into the grand final.
Remix built Scorching Wind. That's the jungle item that gives you more attack speed. What that means is he is somehow, someway, the perfect character to do that. He is one of the few melee characters in that moment who is doing as much damage to the base as your average marksman would.
You see Korea there. Eager, though, still to shake hands. They have the opportunity to fight their way back.
I'm sorry, I'm giggling at the Thailand players who have the biggest grin.
Oh, no, they know. They stole that game from Korea.
That was because that was such a masterful play. Even if Remix doesn't get the base, they still get Slayer on Thailand and probably win the game.
So, TJ, you know what has a 100% win rate right now at the AWC?
Pura?
Yeah, but... I know you don't like it, but Moss, I don't know if it necessarily works. You did die 6 times.
No, it did not work, but Thailand won despite it. And I want to take a moment on this screen to highlight Cherry, not a player we were talking a whole lot about during the game. He does 28, the largest percentage of his team's damage.
He takes it. He takes that one.
Yeah, taken. Sorry. And he does a very, very good job staying alive throughout that. I think he had the lowest deaths on his team by a sizable chunk.
And we get to take another look here at Game 3's highlights. This is not how I expected this series to end, TJ. A 3-0 for Thailand, too. This was Korea not even picking up a single win.
Yeah, this was absolutely spectacular. Korea knocked down to the lower bracket. We thought that was going to be our final. Korea versus China.
You just see that, the face, the excitement. They're like, wait, we won? We were taking Dark Slayer, Remix? the Korean squad, they can see there, especially see on the right, he's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
We just lost that.
Look, I have never...
And again, longest game time. Another one.
And so back-to-back setting the record. That is actually also the first game where I've seen a larger tower take percentage by the team that lost. Korea dominated the entire early phase of that game, and then they definitely came back in the late phase. But what can you do against the base dive Remix?
That is the question that we can ask Matt over on the stage, who's going to be talking to our hero player, Remix. Matt, take it away.
Thank you very much, TJ, Opal, Thailand and Korea. What an incredible winners bracket match that was. But ladies and gentlemen, our first confirmed grand finalists for the World Championship are Thailand. So we need to talk about how that happened. But before we get into the details of it, firstly, you're in our grand final. You are right up there. You have a minimum of $100,000 as the prize here. How are you feeling right now?
เขาบอกว่าเข้ารอบชิงแล้วตอนนี้รู้สึกยังไงบ้างก็รู้สึกโล่งไปอีกเปาะหนึ่งครับเพราะว่าเราไม่ได้เป็นที่3แล้วตอนนี้เราก็ลุ้นที่2กับที่1
kind of a relief that they finally get to the final. So now they only have one more team to go. Yeah.
Yeah, one more team, one more game, and it'll be our big finals tomorrow. Pura is an interesting pick. I know TJ was ecstatic about seeing Pura turn up in this. By ecstatic, I mean confused and ecstatic. What was with the Pura pick?
ทำไมเลือกกวางมาเล่น
ก็เขาแบนซัพพอร์ตหมดแล้วครับผม แล้วก็เหลือเปน่าที่ดูดีที่สุดก็เลยหยิบมาเล่นครับ มันมีฮิลอะไรเงี้ยมันสบายเล่นสบายตอนไฟท์
So based on the ban pick and the fact that they picked Shockna, they have the CC cancellation, so they cannot pick any other support. So instead, they decided to go with a Pera to get the heal effect instead. Yeah.
Is this something they've practiced with?
เคยซ้อมปะตัวนี้
ซ้อมบ่อยอยู่ครับเปน่า
Yeah, it's actually in their game plan. Yeah.
And now I really want you to talk us through what happened there as you backdoored at the end there. Can you talk us through what was going through your mind as you pulled off that play which secured your grand final spot?
เขาถามว่าช็อตสุดท้ายครับคิดอะไรอยู่ทำไมถึงไปทำอย่างนั้น
อ๋อช็อตสุดท้ายก็คือตอนแรกเวฟมันยังไม่พร้อมครับก็เลยบอกให้เพื่อนรอให้เวฟมันพร้อมแล้วก็พอเวฟเข้าถึงบ้านเขาเนี่ยก็ไปล่อตรงกลางแล้วเขาก็ตอนนั้นเนี่ยเขาสกิลใส่ผมตรงกลางหมดก็เลยกันบ้านไม่ได้ครับ
Okay. So actually, it's went according to plan. So for the Thailand team, they're actually planning to wait for the wave of the minions. So once the minions is in position, the team went to start a fight in the middle lane while create a distraction for Remix. Once he saw that the Scat went to mid lane to use all his skill, he saw the opportunities and took it. So yeah, that's what went there.
A planned distraction is how that was done, ladies and gentlemen. Thailand all going to plan for them. They can bring out Pura, they can backdoor. They've got this in the bag. They've got that final spot. Ladies and gentlemen, our first finalist again, Thailand are there. Before we bring you the grand final tomorrow, we will have our deciding match to see who they will be playing against. But before we get to any of that, let's go back to TJ and Opal and sum up this incredible penultimate day here at the World Cup Finals.
Thank you, Matt. TJ, you heard it themselves. It was all planned. And much like my script, it's out the window because I have no idea.
My notes mean nothing.
Literally, you've already packed up.
It means nothing. That was incredible as a close. I love the fact that we managed to see all of those games and indeed end a game like that.
And we had so many exciting matches, TJ, and I think we got to take a quick look and recap this exhausting long day here at the TCL Chinese Theater. Let's start off with match one between Korea and Chinese Taipei.
We started here and Korea looked so good, nigh on unstoppable as they dominated their way through Chinese Taipei, the expected favorites coming out of the AIC a year ago.
And you saw there, Chaser, he popped off. This was him showing up onto the global stage here, the World Cup final stage. And honestly, we didn't see it again, but it was a good highlight here for the first match.
J-Jack, though, set the tone he carried through all day. On that flash, he looked so good, and I think we have to keep our eye on J-Jack because even in those games where they lost, he was the shining star.
And then we take a look over to our second match of the day, of course, between China and Thailand.
And China, well, they were in some people's books as the winners of this tournament. Thailand had another thing to say. They came in from the boot camp and I think were definitely undervalued in this matchup, at least by us. They looked dominant.
Yeah, we saw there, unfortunately for China, that's what forced them into the lower bracket. From there, Thailand, they moved on, faced Korea. They were feeling very confident, securing, again, win after win.
I really like seeing Remix do that. Remix that entire set with my personal superstar. Remix has been insane today, especially on the Irie.
And then we take a look over toward our loser bracket semi-final for our third match of the day between Chinese Taipei and China.
And here's where China was actually fully eliminated from the tournament. We had not expected to see them go down here. Many people, like I said, expected them to win their first semi-final, and everyone I was standing with definitely expected them to win that match that they played there. The fact that they were able to be shut down so well by a Chinese Taipei team that looks entirely in control and much better than they did in the group stage, to be frank, a little bit terrifying for the competitors that now need to play in that lower bracket.
And on top of that, that was our one series to go all the way, TJ, to a Game 5. Then we take a look toward tomorrow. Our first match of the day will be between Korea and Chinese Taipei.
Oh, yes.
And then immediately after, it is our grand final where the winner will face against Thailand.
$500,000, the total prize pool for this event, along with the title of the first Arena of Valor World Champion. And that's going to be given away tomorrow as our second game. First off, though, we do have Korea versus Chinese Taipei, a match I can honestly see going either way, and both of them were expected favorites coming into this event.
Well, we'll have to find out tomorrow, TJ. Either way, thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, for our first day live from the TCL Chinese Theater in Hollywood. We'll be back tomorrow to hopefully crown our World Cup champions.